Thanks so much for joining us. This is our MeWe Awakening panel on dream building, expansion, and grounding. There are 7 of us that will be on the panel tonight answering questions from the audience. It's free to be here to listen and learn, and a small price to ask a question of the panel. We will introduce ourselves first and then talk a bit about the theme. So everyone, as you go through, aim to just introduce yourself as a practitioner first. So that's your first couple of minutes or so, and then we'll go around and we'll talk about the theme of dream building, expansion, and grounding. So yeah, see if we can do that. So just you all first, and then we'll talk about the theme. And then we'll be taking questions from the audience. There's information on how to ask a question in the chat. I will go ahead and post it again. If you have paid to ask a question, and it is sliding scale, if you paid to ask a question, please let me know in the chat so I make sure I get you in line. And when we are done with our introductions and discussion of the theme, we will leap into your questions. It's fine to ask a question on anything. It's great if it's a deeper personal question, just like you would ask sitting at a booth with one of us or in a private session. You might want to explore what you would ask. You might already know, and maybe as you hear us introduce ourselves and hear what we do, you may be sparked with what you want to ask. And great, we already do have someone in line with a question. Perfect. All right, well, let's go ahead and we'll turn the floor over to Audrey and get started with our introductions.
Oh, great. Thank you. All right. So my name is Audrey Lee. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. I specialize in astrology, numerology, tarot, and many other cards. And of course, I communicate with the spirits, and that includes our higher selves or your subconscious mind, or anybody that you have a dispute with, or anybody that you're having interactions with. And so today we're doing dream building. Okay, and today, this is a very good time to do this project, because at the beginning of a year, or whenever at the beginning of any kind of a fiscal period, we have the tendency to feel inspired to want to, get to the bottom of what we are about, what we need to do, what's our direction for the future. And then so this is where I'm going to come in. I think that my motto is knowledge is power. When I do my astrology, numerology, or anything, destiny cards, I feel that I'm trying to help you figure out what your past is, where you're coming from, where you're going to. And so in this dream building process, what is it that you just did, like let's say last year or these past few years, and then what you're trying to get to in the next in the future months and years. So that's what I'm hoping to talk to you about. I look forward to meeting all of you. I can be found at audreyleemetaphysics.com. Thank you so much.
Great, thanks so much, Audrey. I'll get your information in the chat again in just a moment. And I think we've got Viana next.
Hello, I am Viana, and I teach people how to be their healthy, authentic self through movement, meditation, nutrition, and connecting to their subtle being friends. I have been helping people for 45 years, and I also teach people how to make sense of their dreams. I've relied on my dreams to keep me informed about what's happening in my life or what's about to happen. I love to teach. I'm certified in many of the modalities that I do. My website is Viana, V as in Victor, I-A-N as in Nancy, A-motion.com. I am so glad you're here.
And I'm just going to nudge you too, because I know you can tell us more about you. Can you tell us a little bit about subtle beings and your work with that, and like how you came on the journey of embodiment? Is that all right to share a little bit more? Viana, that was for you.
Or are you talking to me?
I am. I know you can tell us a little more. Tell us a little more about subtle beings and then your journey to work with embodiment.
I have relied on the subtle beings all my life. In fact, I just went through a horrible car accident where I totaled my car, and my subtle being friends, my angels, were holding me, and I just walked away from the accident. And I don't know what I would do without my subtle beings. And I love to help people connect to their guardian angel and all their subtle being friends. Yeah.
And maybe could you just use some other words to describe what the subtle beings are? So some people don't know.
The she and guardian angels and the divas, plant divas, and the underbuddies. And I don't usually think of them as names because they're just all around me all the time. I just know who's talking. And if
Great.
you're interested in knowing more about them, I'd love to tell you and teach you.
That's great. Thank you so much. That was helpful. All right. I know someone's having trouble with audio. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe go out and come back in.
I know. I think the person already left and came back in once. So we were
Oh.
talking about headphones as an option. Yeah, I hope we figure out something that works. You could try another device too. If you're on a computer, go to a phone. If
yeah,
you're on the phone, go to a computer, something like that. All right. And we've got Joy next.
Thank you, Laureli. My name is Joy J.V. I'm an energy healer and sensitive. I'm certified in hand mudras, and I work with phototherapy, stem cell patches, and do intuitive readings with oracle cards. The term mudras is Sanskrit for gesture, and like Reiki, hand mudras are a form of energy healing, meaning I use hand mudras to balance and heal a person's energies and or issues. With hand mudras, one can address things such as energy or chakra blockages, energy balancing, release of negative energies, emotional and physical issues, and much more. I work remotely as well as in person. And I'm also work with LifeWave phototherapy and stem cell patches, which are a wonderful, groundbreaking healing modality that operate on the principles of phototherapy. The patches work by reflecting the infrared light emitted by the body back into the body. And each patch uses different frequencies, so they each address different issues. So the patches, like the hand mudras, can address different issues, as well as things like rapid wound healing and pain relief. I also do intuitive readings with oracle decks. And I have a couple of event specials going on tonight. 30 minutes for $25 or 50 minutes for $40. First 30-minute consultation free. You can reach me at my website, diamondfirephoenix.com. And I'm very excited to be here with these other wonderful practitioners and looking forward to meeting everyone tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Joy. Lovely to have you here too. And we've got Tammi next. It's Tammy's first time on a panel with us. We're so excited to have you here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. My name is Tammi Morrison, and I have worked with hundreds of individuals to help them to awaken their destiny and to live the life that best utilizes the talents and gifts that they have. One of the main things is I'm a wife and a mother, a grandmother. I've worked in healthcare for 32 plus years. I had a spiritual awakening maybe about 10 years ago that forced me to move across the country. Matter of fact, I left South Carolina in the US to Arizona in the US. Having not, I think I was in Arizona one time when I was 9 years old. So it was definitely a move of faith. And so as I did that, I got certified in Reiki, theta healing, sacred soul alignments, as well as quantum Reiki and some other things, you know, how we take courses and classes and we just, you know, grow in whatever it is that we want to learn. And so as I did that, I realized that I really love to help people to connect to God. And coming from a super religious background is what I say, into spirituality, I feel like I've been called to help people to do that, to move into really embracing how big God is, and taking God out of the box and actually understanding their spirit team and connecting with their gifts and connecting with their guides. And so that's the work that I love to do. I have a 4-week program that I actually just started that's in the beta called Journey to Radical Acceptance. And I'm taking people for that. And it's 4 one-to-one sessions. So it's not a group program, because I really feel like you get more of a transformation with one-to-one. And I actually like working that way. So it's a 4-week program, and it's called Journey to Radical Acceptance. And it's for people that are looking to up level, people who are growing in their spirituality, people who have, not quite maybe tapped into their gifts, but things are happening and they don't quite understand. Those are the people that I'm looking for that. And I offer healing sessions, and I'm offering today 50% off my healing sessions. And I also have, like Joy, I have a 20-minute free session that you can join me on, and we can talk about some things and see if something I have will help you. And I love to help people to just find their balance and to tap into their goddess and their wisdom, because I find that so many people are having so many problems now. Every time I turn on the TV, somebody is committing suicide, young people. And I know that is so related to the trauma. So what I've done is I've dived deep into healing and really taking it to another level, because I believe that so many people that go to church every day do not believe that they can be healed. They don't believe that God heals, and he clearly says it all over the book. So that's one of the things that I stepped into, and I'm really grateful that I did, because I've been able to serve so many amazing people in that way. You can find me on Facebook under my name, Tammi Morrison. You can find me on TikTok a lot, Tammi Morrison. You can find me on my YouTube channel, and it's Tammi Morrison. My website is, I just had to get rid of the one I just had, so I'm constructing another one. But right now, those are the places that I'm hanging out.
All right, let me make sure I take your website off the list that I have. And
Yeah,
and it's Tammi with an I.
Yes. I just had to do that, like, I don't know, the other day, because it was just not working. Let's go there.
New website coming. All right, great. Well, it's great to have you join us. Great to learn more about what you do. We have 2 other practitioners that will be joining us. I know one will be coming late, and I just texted the other one. The one is coming from India. That is Shraddha. She does pranic healing, tarot, and psychotherapy. And if she does make it, I'm hopeful that she does, I'll have her introduce herself in the middle. And then Quaintance is coming, and she might be here in just a few minutes. She does Reiju, spiritual blessings, and distance healings. And then I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader, body psychology coach, and matchmaker. And I think a somatic awakening is the phrase that just came in to me just a couple of days ago for my body psychology work. I'm all about helping you be more aware of your experience here as in a body, as a human. And our body is access to our soul as well. So I read eyes. So I believe that the energy of who we are, our spirit, shines through our eyes. We all can be more aware of this in ourselves and more aware of this in each other. Our body is giving us messages all the time. So I love to teach people how to be aware of what their body is saying. I will reflect what I pick up on and ask questions, and I'm happy to teach you to do this more and more yourself at the same time, so you're more aware of what your soul is wanting. And then my reflection of your eyes will ideally help you have a better sense of you and learn to listen to yourself in new ways, so that you notice what it is that you value and what you want, and help you make choices that are in alignment with what you want, alignment with your purpose. I'll certainly give you a reflection and help you better understand yourself in all kinds of language. I use archetypes and can help you understand anyone else in your life and help you make choices about who to connect with, so you have the kind of experience you want. An example of how I love to use this work is matchmaking. I can easily find soulmates based on looking in your eyes and their eyes, and I'd love to help you do that with conscious online dating. My specials, I do have a 20-minute complimentary session. You can sign up at schedulelaureli.com, and that's schedule, and then Laureli is spelled LAURELI.com. And I also have drop-in events. Matchmaking events are the most common ones I have right now. If you go to matchmakingsoulmates.com, you'll see I have drop-ins that are by donation the first time, $20 or $16, lower rate for BIPOC folks as a step of making reparations. If you want to come back, and I have a package for 3 months of sessions. So you have no excuse for not finding a soulmate by the end of 3 months if you would like to do that. So that's what I do, and I'll be using all my work today in answering questions. All right, let's chat more about the theme today. The theme is dream building, expansion, and grounding. I know some of you made some references to that as we went around the first time, but let's go around again and see what else you all want to share about that. Dream building, expansion, and grounding. And feel free, Audrey, if you want to jump in, and anyone can share too.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so I believe that we have this very powerful brain, right? Other than our higher spiritual selves, we, in order to operate on this earthly physical plane, we have to, constantly be thinking of things and doing, driving ourselves, on one level. Our mental power is driving our actions. On another level, it's like what we need spiritually is saying, oh, I need to be fed. I need to, I need to reach out to a certain level. And so therefore the dream that comes true, or the dream that we're trying to build on, like, oh, let's say, oh, I need to make $10,000 this month, or I want to have a family, or I'm going to be as successful as, department head or something like that. So there are a lot of different ways that we drive ourselves to do things that we otherwise wouldn't do. Maybe I'll just be happy being a couch potato, right? Or I will be very happy just being a mother and just a homemaker and not do any career. So some people, they tend to get lazy, or they don't know where they're going, and they feel somewhat blinded at times in their lives. And so today, hopefully, my direction is, I'm hoping to guide some people of their current direction. Maybe it's about a sense of anxiety, like, oh, my career hasn't been going well. Where should I go? Or in a relationship, oh gosh, I don't know if I really love this person. But I mean, there's always so much to explore within ourselves. And so that's how I see this dream building process, laying the foundation, getting grounded, and then also expanding with action. That's what I hope is my job today.
Great, thanks so much. And we did just have Leanne appear. So let's see if Leanne is ready. We can have Leanne jump in, or Leanne, just know as soon as you get your video on, I'll get you up front. And then, okay, here we are. So we all went around and we did general introductions, and then we're talking about the theme. So I know Audrey just started talking about the theme. But Leanne, if you're ready, go ahead and jump in and introduce yourself, and then we'll talk about the theme after that.
Hi,
Thank you.
everyone. Excuse me. Can you hear me? Hi. My name is Leanne. I'm a healer, an intuitive, a channel, and my focus of my work right now is energy activations. Oh, sorry. I help people ignite their inner light so they can step firmly on the path of their spiritual transit.
Love that.
Yeah, it's great. And go ahead, you've got a couple minutes. So go ahead and share a little bit more about what you do and what it's like working with you, or anything like that that you'd like to share.
Oh, golly. The energy activation started with Reiki attunements. I moved the attunement out of the Reiki path, and it evolved on its own into an amazing activation that helps people release their own light, understand their own light, embrace their own light, and walk the path that they desire to live, that they want to live, that they were meant to live. I also teach people how to commune with the earth and with trees. Trees are amazing. Everyone is different, and everyone has a distinct personality and kindness and wisdom and gifts. So many gifts of love and healing, and the earth's energy, and it helps us balance and restore and heal. And yes, take our breaths. So I enjoy working with everyone who does a deep dive into their spiritual work, and we together discover what wonders they bring.
Thank you so much, Leanne. All right, and we're diving in to talk about the theme, dream building, expansion, and grounding. So Audrey shared a little bit, and Audrey, you're welcome to come back in and share a little bit more too. And then, yeah, so we can go in order. So I Viana and then Joy. And if, yeah, you don't have something to share at the moment, anyone else can jump in on the panel and share about the theme. Oh, let's get you unmuted.
Am I supposed to talk? No.
If you have something you want to share about the theme, yeah, dream building, expansion, and grounding.
Well, I've never really thought of it as dream building. I have just really relied on my dreams to let me know what's happening. And I've learned over the years how to read my dreams. And that's what I do with clients. And they'll come in and they'll tell me a dream, and I help them decode it, because what I've learned over the years is that what you dream isn't always exactly what you think it is. And learning how to figure out what the symbols are and how they work for you personally, that's what I do. I just help people decode their dreams and understand what it's about. And yeah.
And would you say that our dreams help us realize what our dreams, what we want, what those are, that they help us navigate blocks and all kinds of things?
Yeah, especially things that I haven't addressed during the day that needed addressing. My dreams will tell me that I need to really look at this or take note. Yeah, I've never, I'm not a visual person. I'm really auditory and kinesthetic. So when I have a dream that is very visual and very auditory and very kinesthetic, then I pay attention. And that's what, I mean, if I acted on all the dreams that I have gotten in trouble in the past. So I've learned how to decipher what I need to take note, and I help my clients do the same.
That's great. Yeah, that might be a version of grounding, right? Discernment. Yeah. All right, great. Joy.
Thank you, Laureli. Well, I'm excited to be on this panel because I think of dreams in terms of, in the sense of things that in our hearts that we really want. And I think like self-care, a lot of people forget about those things and don't pursue them actively. And so I am here tonight and in general to help people pursue their dreams and clarify what they are and what they want to get out of them. So very excited to be on this panel tonight.
Great, thank you. And I wish I started, I feel like you've got more you could say too. I'm just like, did I? Well, anyway, we'll come back. Go ahead.
So I was waiting.
Tammi, yeah, go ahead.
Dream building, expansion. Yeah. I was intrigued because I actually just saw the email and just emailed Laureli back that I could come. And so I was intrigued because I know that dream building is, I think, probably what we all do, what we all help our clients do, because we want them to realize, what they've envisioned of themselves, so to help them with the building blocks, especially in this space. And I think all of that creates the expansion that we need. But I truly believe that in order to do all of this, we got to ground. And we have to find ways that work for us to ground, because there are so many different ways that you can do it. Every way doesn't resonate with everyone. but there's different ways. And so that's one of the things I'm excited about being a part of this panel, is because that is like the most huge thing is dream building, you know, trying to help people to realize and step into their dreams. And because of this pandemic, it kind of has gotten people in this space, you know, where they're actually at places where they're trying to move toward, you know, the things that they were dreaming about, you know, or actually could actually dream. Because so many of us were so busy before the pandemic, and this thing kind of came in and gave us all a pause, so that we could actually begin to start to connect, you know, with our spirit team, in order to help us to, you know, move forward in that direction. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Yeah, Viana, go ahead and jump in, and then we'll go to Leanne.
I just wanted to say, when I took dream as literal, and I help people manifest their dreams. I help teach them how to manifest what they want in their life. So I was realizing that people were taking it in that direction also.
And part of how we chose the title is there are multiple ways of interpreting it, and we always could do one in dreams themselves at some point. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so you have a lifetime of helping people with that.
Yes.
Yeah, great. All right, Leanne, anything you want to share about the theme, dream building, expansion, and grounding?
Yeah, I too was excited to be part of the panel. It's dream building is that the first steps of it is letting go. And the first steps of it is saying yes and letting go of that fear
Yes.
and moving into, you know what? I deserve that. I'm allowed that. I can have that.
Yes. Yes.
But it's that teasing out. And then the expansion, that too, just once you've said yes, it's that, oh, there's more and there's more. And then there's infinite possibility all of a sudden. And that's the sweet spot, when you can see that there's not just one way and you don't have to do it just that way, when there's opportunity everywhere you look. That's what I enjoy helping people to enjoy, seeing people get to that place. So that's why I joined the panel tonight, to help people know and see that yes, there's yes here first, and then yes everywhere you look.
Yes. That's huge. I love that, because that is actually the space that I'm in now. That's why I said yes today. I'm in this space where I said, I'm going to say yes to things that I need to say yes to, that I probably might have said no to in the past. You know, and I'm going to say no to some things that, you know, I need to say no to, not yes. So yeah, that's huge. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And sometimes it very much is being willing to notice the opportunities and to step in.
Yes.
And sometimes we have an
Yes.
idea of the opportunity we want to make, and then it's right stepping in and grounding to make that thing.
Yes.
I know part of what I enjoy about the name dream building, to me, expansion is more of the dreaming and the grounding is more of the building. So like both of these words in here, and we each have different skillfulness and different natural ability with the two things. So I'm someone that I struggle a little bit more with the big expansion of the dream, and I do very well with the steps and the building. So for example, all of these events have resulted from little steps where
Yes.
a group met and I said, oh, I have space in my house if you need it to meet. And then someone said, oh, let's have an event where several of us share our work. And I'm like, okay, I bought little tables and little chairs and put them in my living room and, you know, then all over my house. And then I moved and I needed, I guess, a venue. I don't know how to get a venue. So step, step, step. So we all have different skills that we can bring to this. And by doing this together as a community, by doing dream building with other people, that's part of how we can support ourselves to have all of the components that we need in order to make things happen and make things show up. Right. And all the little steps of all of you, I just said, to the event, into the community to be practitioners in an event. It's all of us taking our steps, right, that build more and more dreams for all of us. So the synergy of dream building and expansion also. I maybe part of what I do in my specialty of my work is that sometimes I'll hear a person's dream and I'll be comparing that to what I see as their soul. And I might look for ways that those are aligned and see ways
Love
that
that.
they might trust themselves more to take those steps. Sometimes I see ways that there are differences and I might make suggestions as to what support they might want in order to head that direction. Some people's talents have them dream so big and that they can hold themselves to too high of a step, too big of a step. And part of the art is like bringing it back down. So I'm able to see
Yes.
some of those strengths or challenges that we have and whatever it is that we're aiming for.
Yes.
And ideas of who else to play with to support us on that journey.
Yes.
And my expertise is grounding. So in working with people, you say some of my lessons are to not focus too much on the grounding and allow enough spaciousness for the dream. All right, and the mystery, right, of not knowing what is the best next step. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Right, so I just in all the work that I do, right, my lessons are all there too, and so I'm particularly just thinking of them in terms of like this panel and this theme. Yeah. Well, anyone else want to say anything about dream building and expansion? Anyone on the panel? Please go ahead. Like Audrey has something else, so I'm just like, yeah, let's get you unmuted if you do. You're muted, so.
I just feel like it's something it's really kind of underestimated. You know, I mean, we didn't really always think about that and always go in these directions. And I just think it's such an amazing time for us to be doing this.
I agree. I'm going to jump in with just a logistics thing on the side. Someone's having trouble with their Bluetooth. So if you are on a computer, on the bottom left, there's a mute button. Right next to it is a little caret. If you click on the little caret, you'll have the audio settings open. Oh, you got it. Okay, great. All right, it's working. All right. Okay, sorry. Anyone else want to say anything else about the theme before we leap in? Because we have at least one question in line so far. And I'll put the information in chat again about what we are up to and how you can pay by Venmo or PayPal to get in line to ask a question. If you ask a question of the panel, oh, you had to change the Zoom setting. Okay, great. If you want to ask a question of the panel, we do request that you pay first, and you will probably get answers from all of us on the panel. Yeah, anyone else want to say anything else about the theme? And I will set the container. All right, great. We'll say a ton more when we answer questions. And you can ask a question on anything. It doesn't have to be on the theme in particular. We have lots of skillfulness to answer all kinds of questions. Well, I recommend that I'm throwing mine, that you grab something to write with and write on as an opportunity to practice opening to your own intuition. One, you might have insight, you might want to take notes, but also you have a chance to see if what comes through you as people are stepping up to ask questions is similar to the way that we answer, as a way of getting correlating feedback that we are all tapping into the same source so that you trust your intuition more and more. If you do have something come through you, and you might have something come through you that's totally relevant that we don't share. We only share so much. If you do have something come through you that might be for the person that asked the question, we request that you hold that until we're done answering their question. And then if you, any questions in the chat? Yeah, so we request that you hold it until we finish answering their question. And then if you want, you're welcome to private chat that person and ask if they'd like to hear what came through you that might be for them. Please honor whatever they share. They may say, yes, go for it. And they might say, no, like I'm full right now. Please trust that it's, choose aim to not take it personally. Trust that it's not about you. They're just doing their best to honor themselves. Oh, great. Thank you so much for sharing the passcode. I appreciate that. Also, this is a great opportunity to learn from all that's asked and all that's answered, whether or not you ask a question. And there's something else I want to share. What is it? I can't think of what it is right now. Well, thank you so much for learning and learning as a group, learning in public, because we're doing this all together as a community, and this is recorded and posted on YouTube so that lots more people can benefit from the conversation that we have. There are 3 things. Did I cover all 3 things? Maybe I did. All right, great. All right, well, we have Brittany ready to ask the first question. So let's get Brittany up here. All right, Brittany, what is your question?
Hello, everyone. My question is,
One moment. I'm so sorry. I just remembered the third thing. It is that please, if when you ask the question, if we go deeper than you want us to go, or we talk about other topics you don't want to sharing about here in this public format, please interrupt us and let us know so we come back to a way that honors you in our answer. All right, go ahead.
okay, I'm glad that you thought of it. And so in this journey in my life, I am currently dreaming bigger than I've ever learned how to dream before. So that's pretty exciting in itself. But the scary part, or the part that makes me uncomfortable of sorts, is and eager to learn more about, is that it's a dream that I don't know anybody else kind of demonstrated this life for me. It's a lifestyle that I'm creating for myself, and learning about on my own. So I feel like I could use a lot of different, I feel like I could use a lot of like ideas of where to look for resources to find this information. And specifically what I'm referring to is about affordable, sustainable living, like permaculture as one hot topic, for example, but I'm not positive if that's the avenue that I want to go with. Let me just read my notes to make sure that that was
Yeah.
that covered all of my question.
And maybe if you could say a
Um,
little bit more about, yeah, like a little bit, give us a little bit more grounding of the dream that you have. So permaculture kind of gives us some suggestions, right? You said affordable, sustainable living. Anything else that's there? That is like,
yeah. Go ahead.
I'll say more, but go ahead. Go ahead. You go first.
Oh. I've been looking at communal living, in an intentional community. I think that that would be the best fit for me and what I'm envisioning for my life. But yeah, I've never known anybody to live in an intentional community before. You have? Oh, okay. So I'm also contemplating or trying to decide between whether to like offer like stewardship or whatever for a homestead or farm versus choosing like an intentional community.
Could you say a little bit more about what you mean by stewardship? Or
Yeah, so like somebody that like a farm hand volunteer, I guess you could say.
okay, great, great, great. Well, great. So just a little bit, I'll say that one of my jobs was to find informational needles in haystacks. I was a researcher, like biology and then also information. So yeah, tons of resources. I have lived in an intentional community for only about 8 months with 11 people. There were 12 of us. One person was a child that was there part-time. And I have lots of colleagues and friends and lots of online resources, and there's tons and tons of stuff. And where do you live now? Are you in Oregon?
I'm currently in Tennessee and I'm going to be moving to California next month.
And what part of California?
The Sacramento area.
Okay, great. Are you wanting to stay generally there?
That's my general plan right now, but I'm not fixated on that.
Mhm.
In other words, I'm flexible and considering also maybe being nomadic.
Okay, great. And maybe one more thing. Do you have experience growing your own food already?
No.
That's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to. I just wanted to
definitely
know if you already
want
did. Great, great. So it's little bits of my answers and then tiny little bits of my answers, but yeah, just kind of guiding your question. All right, so practitioners, it works best if you raise your hand in Zoom so I know when you're ready to answer. I see, yeah, Audrey's up, so I'll have Audrey go first. And yeah, so you, yeah, go ahead. You got like a couple and a half minutes to answer, and I'll let you know like this. I'm back home. If you, yeah, get to a couple and a half minutes so you know to wrap up. Go ahead, Audrey.
Okay, so I'm very excited for you because I feel like you're at a threshold of your life. It's as if you're going from one era into another, and this era that you're currently in, you have been doing this researching or exploring or possibly struggling with the decision or with some kind of a understanding for a while, but this shall soon pass, or that you will soon get to that threshold period, the portal, and then going into the next new, sort of like the new world for you. And I see two different factors as you were talking. One is the financial factor, and the other one is the connection, the people connection. So the financial factor here, I was kind of giving the idea, the impression that you will do the off the grid, or do the communal, that kind of thing. But that is also thought of as a new line of work, or new type of responsibility or daily duty, or however you look at it, it is somewhat of a different type of work. So, you may think of it as, oh, my future career is blended in this lifestyle. And at the present time, or for the immediate future, I feel that money is on a smaller scale. Money spent, money earned, perhaps that is on a much smaller scale. But the friendship, the support that you have is great. So focus on the people that you're connecting with. I see a lot of very, very, long-term good friends for you in the near future. So this is the dream, the building up, the expansion of the dream that I see for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great, thanks, Audrey. Who else is ready to go? And I'm putting some links in the chat too, so I know you're on a phone, so maybe you can grab them afterwards. I can put them all together in the bottom. Yeah, who's ready to go after Audrey? And I can go if no one else is ready, but yeah, let's see if anyone else is ready to leap in with you. All right, well, I'll say a little bit more. So some of the links I put in the chat, I have a colleague that lives in Port Townsend Eco Village, and I forget exactly what it's called. Yeah, Port Townsend Eco Village, and she's happy to share resources. I put in another link to another group that's a website for intentional communities, so it's a way of looking at them all around. I was just starting to search for Sacramento. I'm sure there's something, though the West Coast has many more of these. I mean, there are all kinds of larger houses in Seattle where people live together in intentional community ways. There are all kinds of ways of doing agreements and things like that. It is more cost effective to live together. There are some communities specifically focused on what do you say? Yeah, permaculture. So Oregon, California, probably that's more common than other places. I'm sure in the South there is that too, anywhere that it's easy to grow. But so more liberal communities they're interested in living that way. A really big thing is to get really, really clear on how decisions are made in the community, sort of how they organize and run before you jump in. So one of the learnings I had with our community is there was someone that I had known that actually had lived in that house in a community like 15 years before, who moved back in to restart a community there. So he was the first one, and he was saying that, oh, we'll have, when we get all settled in, when we're all full, we'll have meetings to talk about how we're going to run everything. Well, I didn't get clear what really, really was meant by that. He already had some structures about how he would be like final decision maker and things like that, and a bunch of things were already set. And so then I'm like, oh, I didn't do my part to get everything clear first. And we spent a ton of time having conversations about how to make decisions beyond that. So starting from scratch is okay. Just go in knowing there's like a ton of stuff to sort out, and going into a place where they already have a bunch of that started, knowing what it is and that the process feels good to you and how decisions are made. That's really important. Some communities, and yeah, I lived in Boulder for a while too. There are tons in Boulder, actually, like there's just so many. So living in an area where the cost of living is lower is better. Living in a place where it's easy to grow, right? That's all going to be easier for you. Some of them share more meals and share more food together, and others share less. Some have more common space and very small places where they live individually. Some of them all live together. I lived in a house that was built for a community. It was a central living room, dining room, 2 kitchen kind of together. It was huge, 2 sinks, 2 dishwashers, 2 refrigerators, 2 like everything. a longer story of all this stuff. And then there was a wing with rooms and a wing with rooms, and the bathrooms were on the wings. Like, it was a plan. And so we had living space and loft where we'd sleep in each space. Yeah, so that was unusual that it was built for it. But many groups buy, like Port Townsend, I think they bought houses together and formed a community that way. They have some rental properties in addition to people that are owners, and they specifically have some rental properties that they have for lower income. So different communities have different philosophies about that, and there are ways that you can often contribute more if you can't contribute as much financially. So all kinds of ways of doing that, some with kids, some without kids, all of these different things. Yeah, so looking at all the ways that you can contribute to the communities and looking at the website and seeing all the different communities and how they organize themselves will have some ideas for you. So you see, I've got all kinds of practical steps. Let me go back to the dream. So what I would recommend is that you, like, imagine you found like this great community and it's going really well for you, right? It's well for everyone else too, but like, what does it look like? So imagine you've been there for a year. Like, how do you feel? What are the kinds of things that you're doing? What are your relationships like with people? So a way of getting a little more sense of like, what's success for you in this context? So that as you look at all these different communities and probably get all excited, how can you get a sense of what you really want before you step in? So you're more likely to be able to tell what's in alignment with what you want and not simply a great community. Yeah. So there's a little bit on the building and the dream. And I know Audrey's hand.
I was just going to say that helps a lot because I've been on the IC website, the Intentional Community website, and I just get overwhelmed. But I think that a way to break out of that kind of freezing feeling is to lean into it and see what it feels like, and to really get creative with my thoughts, and maybe just do some dreaming in like
Yes.
meditation or something.
And I would say too, I would also, where you live before you move, look to see if there are any that are local and visit them. And when you travel, visit as many as you can, talk to people. So get a real feeling of what people are like. And then there's a whole bunch of interviewing to know that it's a right fit, and they'll be interviewing you too.
I've been to one so far, and it was well, I've been there several times actually, but I get so nervous. So that's something
And
I'm worried.
getting practice is great.
Yeah.
Go to communities that you know are not a right fit. I believe in this in dating or job interviews and all these things. Go to the things first that you know are not a right fit, so you can get practice and you get more comfortable.
That's a very interesting way of looking at it, but I see how that would be beneficial. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, great. And I know Audrey's hand is back up, so if there's something else short that you want to share after your first share, go ahead, and then Viana's next.
Okay, thank you. So, after I finished earlier, with all the talking that you guys were doing, I started to get these images in my head about your, more distant past. So there was a story that was told to me that you were a traveler before in a particular past life. And in that past life, you were just a very carefree person, happy-go-lucky. You were traveling just like from town to town, from little areas of residence, like in the old days. But you didn't travel far enough, because at that time, it was almost like you had somebody, a female companion that you're looking for. I don't know if it was a sister or somebody who was a female, and that you were supposed to travel very far, let's say to another state or another continent to find. And so in this lifetime, you were hoping that there was this memory, like a branding in your head that says, I want to travel farther. At least that's the story that I was told. It sounds very interesting, very dramatic. And so I think that's the reason why you're on this journey, finding somebody or feeling this instinct of looking for somebody. And again, I feel that there's like a female connection who, when you find, you would say, oh, that's my kindred spirit, or that is my best friend, or that's my family or somebody. So I want to wish you the best of luck. That's what I got earlier.
Thanks, Audrey.
Okay, you're welcome.
Great, and Leanne put some great links in the chat. Yeah, some great links about traveling and I didn't look deeply enough, but like traveling and working. And then one is that for specifically working on farms, traveling around the US and working on farms and things like that. So in Viana, got more.
So whenever I help somebody try to manifest something in their life, a place or a job or whatever it is they're trying to manifest, I always tell them to make a list and be really detailed about what they want and really get ridiculous about the details and what you don't want and what you're willing to compromise so that you are putting it out there in the universe, in the collective consciousness of what, just get really clear. And then once you do that, then just let it go. I usually take people through a meditation and I have them build on their vision that comes up and then just let it go and trust that it'll come to you. But you want to be really clear. Otherwise, you may get something that you didn't want and you didn't think about. So that's my suggestion.
That helps a lot because I've done that before, like with lists for other things, but I don't think that I hadn't really formed the full concept to do that with this idea. So thank you. It's probably what
So
I was lacking.
I'm offering a discounted session. So if you would like to have somebody work with you on your list, contact me.
And I just put Viana's information in the chat again.
I was actually going to say, kind of piggyback on that. That was my thought. Really get clear and also just start journaling on what you desire and actually taking yourself to that place and creating affirmations for it, for whatever it is that you want. And do it from a place of already having the thing, like already being in your commune, in California, in the place. So like you're already there. So like I use an affirmation for my house because I'm building a house, and I say that I am so grateful that, I'm loving my house. I love my spa pool because that's what I want, and I'm saying it from a place of like, I'm already there. And so it creates the feeling in there because really the feeling is the secret. Neville Goddard talks about that, but that is really the thing. So as you create those affirmations that, are personal to you, what it is that you desire, you could talk about how, you've already made the cross-country trip. You can talk about how, you're in this space where, it's a beautiful space and, how it makes you feel and all these things. And so when you begin to do that and you start doing that, it's going to move the needle, it's going to shift the energy, and then you'll be able to see it. And then as it starts to show up for you, it's like, wow, it's here. But you won't really be surprised because you've already been there and you've already done it. And that's my, yeah, you're welcome.
I'm curious, Tammy, you look very familiar to me and I have no idea because I don't think I've ever met you before.
Maybe YouTube, TikTok, Facebook.
Well, Tammy, you've been to some of our in-person fairs before, haven't you? I know I recognize you a ton too. Only one?
One.
Well, you're a big presence that's flown all through the community because I totally feel like I've connected with you more than once also.
I think it's probably YouTube because I'm on that. I do live Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok.
It probably is that, yeah.
So probably that. Yeah.
Great. All right. Anyone else have something to share with Brittany, Joy, or Leanne? You don't have to, but if you do, I want to encourage you to trust yourself. You probably have something to say.
Yes, hi, Brittany. I was just drawing some cards for you. And of course, course, they're very, very interesting because they seem to relate to your purpose. And some of them are family fun and creative play. So, looking at your community as like a family, and then looking at your projects and your work as like play and an opportunity to be creatively playful. And also lucid city, which is meaning it's an allusion to a mystical dream city. So what is your vision for what you want this to be? And that also ties in with the other cards that came, choice, which, of course, the choices that you make being what will determine where you go, and protection, finding what's important. So, prioritizing and finding in your entire project, what are the important things to you, and what do you want to focus on above all else. And then also culmination, which means the final product. Where do you want to go and where do you want to be with this? So like Viana was saying, very clear idea of where you want to go and what kind of community you want to be in, and what you want to do there yourself and what you want out of it. Things like that to ask yourself, and to always be aware of, and be aware that you're getting what you want out of it, because that is ultimately going to be the most fulfilling.
I think it's so funny that the first topics that you mentioned were family fun and creative play, because those are two things that I've been writing on my 10-10-10 manifestation list every single day for the past 5 weeks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you must have that energy.
Hopefully, I'm trying to build it. Yeah. So thank you for that confirmation, and for also further insight.
Great. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
And I was just thinking places like Facebook can be good resources, and that, like, for example, this is a Facebook group in Sacramento Network Collaborative. There's someone posting about like an ecstatic dance. So I would go in places like that and connect with other people in the city and ask them about what they recommend and who they recommend connecting with. You want to find the connectors in the community and the people that have all kinds of ideas and connections, and find this and have this as a way of making friends and creating your web in whatever city you're going to. Do you have experience going somewhere where you don't know anyone already? And you may already know someone here, but do you have this experience doing this before?
I do, yes. I think that a part of me identifies as like a connectress or like a networker. I do have a fearless side. And yeah, I have done that before.
Great. And so whenever you are landing, wherever you are living in the beginning, just make sure that you have a short-term arrangement so that if you find a great place, you can easily hop and change course.
You mean when you say that, are you meaning like a plan B?
Well, I don't know if you're setting up community before you move, or if you're moving and then you're going to be finding community. So if you move there first, like rent a room in someone's place kind of thing. If you don't have, like, if there's not a whole collection of you and people, and I don't know quite what the setting is for you, but go to someone else's space where you're using someone else's internet, live cost effectively, and where you don't have a long lease and you can change things around so that you can then, if you find a community, you can easily move. Things like that.
I signed up on couchsurfing.com, so that's been my step one, doing maybe that as an option.
Yeah, and
there's also house sitters too.
House sitters?
Yes, housesitters.com. So you can go and sit in somebody's house. I think people say, especially if you are animal person, if you like cats and dogs and things like that, because people will hire people to come if they're traveling, especially like, a lot of people travel overseas and go for a month, and they need somebody to come and stay, and take care of the animals and the plants and, their house and stuff like that. So you can check that out as well. That's another resource for you.
Yeah. And all kinds of gig work. Yeah. That being an example. Yeah. All kinds of gig work you can do.
Mhm.
Right. Are you
Yeah.
familiar with?
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm on rover.com, but unfortunately I didn't have any success with that. It didn't lead to any jobs or anything. So I'm happy to learn of new resources to check out.
And I don't know what site she's on, but like I know one of our other practitioners is like delivers groceries to people and things like that. Like there are all kinds of different things that you can do.
Right. Yeah, I'm on Instacart as well. And there's like DoorDash and Grubhub. Unfortunately, they don't work in this area right now, but yeah, I am
Okay.
aware of a couple of those options.
But
So thank you.
Sacramento, chances are all these things will be working in Sacramento just based on where it is.
Yeah.
There's all the startups in California. It's probably one of the first places that a lot of these places are launching. So yeah, great. What would and yet anyone else jump in? If you have more to say, what it sounds like you can overwhelm yourself with all the different things. Right. So I know you're getting yourself immobilized. I'm trying to see what else gets in the way for you.
The fear, the fear has been very crippling for me, but I feel like through this discussion, I broke out of that.
Great. Yeah, and just that you're talking about it and talking with other people, you'll find out all kinds of people you already know that have lived in communities that you had no idea. So yeah,
Very
good
cool.
job. All right, anyone have anything else for Brittany before we finish up?
Oh, I was just going to say congratulations on coming here, because when you do this and you make it this conscious effort and everyone's talking to you about it, you're giving energy to it. So you're giving it more life and more power. So good job.
Yeah.
I was going to say, trust God, trust your higher self, trust you.
Thank you.
And you've seen on the map on that ic.org site, like there are 5 or so that are listed right in Sacramento.
I did
Have you
not see
seen
that. No, I haven't looked in California yet.
Yeah. So there's this map right here on the directory page. And if you zoom in on California and zoom in on Sacramento, there are 5 that are shown, and there's so many. Are you planning on driving across country? Because you could even plan like a driving to communities all the way across. And as you do research, drive, stay for a few days, see what you can contribute around there as you stay, right? It could be cost effective. And
yeah. Thank you.
I'm saying that you have to plan it all out before you do it.
That's a really hard thing for me.
Spontaneous.
I'll try.
Which thing, to plan it or to not plan it? You said would be
To
hard.
plan it. I have some cognitive impairment that sometimes gets in my way.
I understand that. What helped me, I'm that way too. What helped me was to I got a folder on my phone in my notes that says to do, and it's like a running list of things that I know I need to do, but it's not etched in stone. So like if I don't get it done today, I look on it and I'll get 3 or 4 of the things done, and then I might add some more things, and then the next day I'll attack some of those other things. And so it kind of helps me to keep accountable in that way, but not super structured, because I can't do that either. I know exactly what you're saying. Like my husband actually plans most of our trips, and he does most of the shopping, because those are just things that, well, I don't enjoy shopping, and I can't do that. I've tried, and so I know that it's just I'm not designed that way. So that's something that helped me to just have a running list, and like every day I change the date and I take off whatever few things I was able to get done. And if I need to add more, I add more, but then I just, it just keeps going. But it helps to keep you accountable so that, that you don't start feeling stressed.
Yes, thank you so much for saying that, because I too have the to-do list in my notes, but then that you kind of help polish my process a little bit with your ideas, because you gave me the idea to like title to-do list at the top of some of them, because I've been misplacing them in the whole folder of all of the notes that I have. So that's been impractical. And yeah, I forgot what else I was gonna say, but thank you.
Yeah, just make that the title of your folder. So that's just, so you'll, when you open it, it says to do. And then when you click on it, you can put all the things or whatever and put the date. And then the next day, just change the date, take whatever you already did off. And if you need to add more things, add more things. But if not, then just keep attacking those things. And it helps you to stay accountable without, having to do all this planning, because I can't do it either.
Yeah, I've noticed that life really likes it when I go back and reflect and like take out things that I've accomplished. Seems to help the process go along smoother.
I just want to say one more thing. Remember, you have a guardian angel that loves to be employed. So ask your guardian angel to help you and listen.
Yeah, you really introduced me to that topic for the first time in general back in November, and I've been really trying to get to know guardian angels in general through an Audible book about guardian angels and just some other explorations. And I'm making like a chart of all the of several of the archangels and what their colors are, what their day of the week is. Just trying to get to know them and their individual essence and so I can hopefully consciously connect with them. I think that I might be succeeding with it when I like in my sleep, but not that I'm consciously aware of yet.
So Lorna Byrne wrote a book about angels in my hair, and she has been taught by the angels from the time she was born. Angels in My Hair is the name of the book. The author is Lorna Byrne, B-Y-R-N-E. She's written other books, and she also has a Facebook page. She will help you.
Thank you.
Link in the chat. And Audrey
You're
has
so
something else to
nice.
share too.
Okay.
Just a quick ad. I feel that if you are traveling and you feel like a kite out there, right? A kite with a loose string. So what is a good anchor for you is like the relationships that you have, the friendship, some of the people that you are keeping in touch with. Again, some of them can help you feel a sense of security, like, oh, let me report in, let me check in with somebody. And in that way, you don't feel so lost in the middle of the country. And that is, that's what I'm getting from the emotional warmth from the heart for you.
I think that that's going to be incredibly helpful because that's very intuitively helpful. The insight, because I've been wondering how I can, well, for one, it's a totally different way of looking at the situation. It's more like metaphor, like it's a lot more playful and less serious. So that helps a lot too. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, and a couple people in the chat too have mentioned that they're interested in joining or starting intentional communities. Someone else just wrote too. So I know it's a long chat, but after you get off, you might enjoy just scrolling up through, and there might be people you want to individually connect with if you feel called to do that.
Sure. Yeah, I've been screenshotting it, and I'm definitely going to circle back. That's really great.
Great.
All the people contributing. I love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for a lovely question. Thank you for getting us started. Beautiful dream.
Thank you all.
All right. I think we are open for road trip her. This is so great. Like all these different things that people are mentioning in the chat. I don't know if we have anyone else in line for our next question. I'll put the information in chat again for how you can pay to ask a question. It is sliding scale. Oh yeah, how do you connect with other callers? If you go onto chat, and if you're on a phone, if you're only on audio, I don't know that you can do it on audio, but if you're on one of the video resources, find your way to chat on a phone. I think if you tap your phone, one of the options in there will be chat. And if you look at the chat and you scroll up on the chat, you should be able to either click on a person's name individually, or there's a way to go look at the participants on the call, and you can select one of the participants and private chat with them. So that would be a way to do that. Yeah, and Brittany just put her contact info in the chat too. So if any of you that are interested, a few of you have said you're interested, you're welcome to reach out to Brittany. Sounds like that is a great solution also. Great. All right. Well, yeah, so does anyone want to ask the panel a question? It is a small price to ask us a question. It is 20 to 28 sliding scale, or $12 for BIPOC folks as a step of making reparations. Oh yeah, jump in and ask us a question. Yeah, we can talk about all kinds of different things. You heard that we have lots about dreaming and building, and we'd love to support you with whatever your dream is, or help you discover your dream, all kinds of things. Yeah, and you can pay by PayPal or Venmo. Yeah. And let's see, so in the meantime, if anyone has any general questions about dream building, you could put those in the chat and let us know what those are. Or practitioners on the panel, we can ask questions too, and we can answer each other's questions. A demonstration, it's all great. Yeah, you only see a few participants' names. Well, can you see, and you're asking LR, can you see Brittany's information in the chat? Because then you should be able to reach out to Brittany. Great. Yeah, I'm not on a phone at the moment, so I don't know exactly what it looks like on the phone, but you should be able to see everyone scrolling up and down. Yeah, practitioners, is there anything you want to ask any of us about? Yeah, dream building and expansion. I mean, I have endless material, right? I have something we can play with if you don't have something, but oh, and Audrey's got, yeah, Audrey, go ahead. What do you want to share or ask? Oh, you're muted. Let's get you unmuted.
Sorry. Okay. So while you're thinking of your questions, because I'm an astrologer, so this is the beginning of the year 2023. This is kind of an important year, like a headline news year, because first of all, 2023 has some new energy mixed in with it. And astrologically, we have Pluto changing sign from Capricorn into Aquarius. So that is very significant. And it was staying Aquarius for about 20 years plus. And so that is significant. Right? And Aquarius is an air sign. So it may benefit some of the air sign people, fire sign people. And then, of course, when it comes to our dream building, it is all about, the air. Being out, open molecule, feeling more freedom, more interactive, a lot of mental challenges, mental stimulation. So that is the direction that we're going into. Now, in this year, 2023, we also have Saturn changing sign from Aquarius going into Pisces. So that's another shift of energy. So Saturn is moving out of its own rulership, Aquarius, into Pisces. So there is some, mixture of feelings like, I'm Saturn, the disciplinarian. I'm moving into a more emotional, congealed state. So there's going to be a lot more relationships, interactions, trying to get adjusted, modifying your own life, your own styles, that kind of thing going on. And there's one more thing to quickly mention is Jupiter is moving through Aries really fast, and then moving into Taurus. And so, it's covering two different signs. Number one, it will be very good for some Aries part of the year, and then some Taurus part of the year. That will be good for different people in different ways. Naturally, we don't have all the time to talk about it, but just to keep in mind that 2023, the first part of the year from March through May, it's kind of a shifting year. So it's a very good time to put out your dreams, because sometimes, we can't make something happen because we're just so stuck in a rut, or we're so stuck in our routines, right? And so when there's a shift in the weather or in the air, then that's a time. It's like a window for us to do a lot of different things. So this is something for you guys to think about.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. All right, we did get someone leap in to ask a question. So if they're ready, we can bring them up. It's Tammi. I think it's Tammi Joyful, probably. If you are ready, we can bring you up to ask the next question. And it is Tammi Joyful. Let's get you unmuted. Oh, you're still muted.
There we go. Sorry
There
about
we are.
that.
No problem. All right.
Let me hold this so I don't cover my. I wasn't planning on asking a question, but so I'm kind of in a transitional stage, similar to what she was saying earlier. So I was taking lots of notes. So that was great information. I have, thought of communal living, but that's not really a top priority on my list. But I am, trying to get my business of healing. I'm an energy healer and intuitive and channel also. So I'm moving toward getting that more solid, getting some more solid income coming in, and just trying to decide like which direction to go. I feel like I'm stepping into the unknown right now, and just every step, just with every step I take, it's like, okay, what do I do this step? Not even the next step. It's like this step right now. What am I doing? So, and connecting with my guidance and and listening and discerning if it is a step that I do want to take, and working through all that. I've been through lots of the past 7 years have been very intense, and I have grown tremendously. I decided the other day to move from the place where I am right now, and like by next week is my plan. So again, I have information for the step that I'm on, and I'm okay with that. And I think that's the first time in my life I have been okay with that. So I'm any insights and information that you guys would have for me would be great. Thank you.
And is there any, let's see, are you staying in the same area and you're moving to a new place? Are you looking at going to a whole new area? Or it sounds like work and like how you're like all these things are up. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, yeah, it's just taking that initial step of deciding to do it, and each day, pretty much each breath is like, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? What do I do now? Like coming to this, I had a few days I had planned on coming to this, and then I had decided not to, and then about a half an hour before, it was like, no, we're going to this, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'm just going to sit and listen and glean information and not ask a question. And then all of a sudden, it's like, no, I'm asking a question. So, so I don't have, I don't have my question honed in.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Sorry
I'm just
about
like,
that.
are you, and maybe all these things would be okay. Are you looking for like more ideas and guidance of how to discern or how to feel like grounded in this flowing process, or anything about the content of where you might be?
The content,
going?
yeah, the content would be great, or any visions or ideas or any intuitive hits that you get would be great. I have reached out to someone in a horse that has like wild horses in areas that has, she's working with wild horses, and that has I've followed her on YouTube and other thing, and done a few of her classes for several years. And as I've honed my own intuition along the way, I've had several little hits of, you're going to be working with them someday. You're going to be working with them someday. And then it's just gotten stronger and stronger and stronger recently. I did reach out to her the other day. It was a big step for me reaching out to her. Haven't heard back from her yet. Yep, she can come in. And so any information regarding that, or and I'm trying to, the playful and the fun that you guys talked about earlier. So I am working with that, being playful and having fun with it. Trying to let go of the money aspect, and that is the hardest thing for me, is because yes. So.
And I know I'm kind of diving into feedback. I know Audrey's ready, so I want to get there quickly. By letting go, do you mean like not being attached to it, looking a particular way, or looking the way that it did before? Or
right.
And do you have a playful dog in your background, by the way?
I do.
That's great. That's fun. We have play happening while we're talking about it. That's good.
Yeah, she's squeaking her toy. So
great.
There's two of them here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Letting go of exactly what it looks like. Yeah. Letting go enough of the past, right? So that new things can show up. All right. Great. Well, Audrey's all ready. So let's let Audrey go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. I love your name, Joyful.
Thank you.
So, okay. Well, what I want to say is that people who come together, even though you didn't come together, but you joined this session today at the same time. So you and our previous caller have some kind of a joint karma. So, of course, you guys are all asking about the change of living, communal arrangement, or some kind of a different challenge. But I don't really see that as the most significant goal, the big label, the big neon sign right now. What is really important is the concept of work and money. Okay, so money, like you said, you're ready to let it go, or to kind of go with the flow. And I feel that that is a very good attitude, because even though money right now is still kind of like a little boat on the ocean, it's floating up and down, up and down, up and down. So you feel like, I'm not really touching the ground. I can't really stand up. And so, it's okay. In astrological language, it is the Neptune that is affecting your financial, the joint financial, or the bank account. And then so, even though it may last another 2 months or so, but Neptune makes you feel like it's forever. So it's just an illusion. So you want to trust yourself to say, okay, what I'm doing, the line of work that I'm doing right now is absolutely good. And there is no need for any change of work for the present time. Even though you may say, okay, well, let me consider something else on the side, a side job, or something else that I can do. I feel that yes, you can do 2 jobs, or do something in addition to what you're currently doing, like the healing and all that. However, I don't really feel that that is the reason, or that is a good purpose for making changes. So if you can stick to whatever that you have right now, that would be really good. And then probably in another year, or next year, or during a later part of 2023, you can consider adding another title to your forehead, to your crown, and say, okay, I also do this other thing. Yeah. And then the same as my other comment earlier, is that you have a lot of good friends or good people behind you. And so, keeping that tie with the people, with your people, is a good thing. Ultimately, you may never let them go, or they may not let you go. But this year, with this dream building, what's going to come is something very exciting, which is new people. New people are coming, either like a new customers, new clients, or new connections of some kind. And, they don't have to be the paying customer right away, but they are the traffic that you need, the networking target that you need. So, hold on to your friends. I think that is the same message that's coming through with the lady angel, with the spirit guide. So
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Audrey. All right,
I
practitioners,
pulled
go ahead.
I pulled a card for you, Tammy.
Thank
And
you.
I love,
Thank you,
I love
Tammy.
your name.
Yeah, me
I
too.
love your
Yours.
name. So what I felt when I was listening to you was fear. I felt there was a fear happening, and it was like, it's almost, it could almost be paralyzing. That's what it feels like. And it's this thing. So I pulled a card for you, and I pulled from the Energy Oracle deck.
Okay.
And the card that came was Door to Spirit.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to read it from the book. It says, the door opens onto the expansive energetic realm where all new beginnings originate. Oh, spiritual awakenings and new beginnings. The orbs of light are guiding you through the clouds of the earthly world, leading you to a deeper understanding of your eternal identity, the source of all true value and power. This door opens onto truly unlimited potential, for the changes that happen here reach deep into the core of your being. As such, this card often heralds your increasing powers in the spiritual arts and a deepening connection with the spiritual world. Don't be surprised if you find yourself becoming more intuitive, more aware of spirit's presence, or more powerful in your own healing practices. Now is the time to open up to the unexpected guidance and inspiration of spirit, and to the magic and power of your true identity. That, I think that was so perfect for you, because it's like, I can feel that, you're ready to take this leap. It's like you want to take this leap and you want to do this thing, but you're looking at, wait a minute, do I have enough money? Can I actually support myself? Am I going to be able to eat? Am I going to be homeless? All these things are probably running through your head, and it feels like your crown is like, so
That's
I feel
exactly
like
right.
you definitely need to balance your chakras. Yeah, I felt that thing. It was like, oh my God. But I felt like you need to definitely balance your chakras, and you can have somebody else do it. You're a healer, though. You can do it yourself.
I can do it. Yeah.
But I'm going to say this: healers need healers. Healers need healers.
Very true. Very true.
But I feel like this journey that you're on, it feels like it's more expansive than what you even thought. Like, you're being called to do huge things in the world, and you have just this amazing big heart. I can see it. It's like, I can see the green color just kind of radiating through your heart, and your heart is just, big. So you want to, it's like you want to do something that maybe other people haven't done. Like, you have this call, and so doing it the way you're doing it with the breadcrumbs, just, one step, because you can't do any other way. They're not going to give you the whole blueprint. It don't work that way. But I think that once you get comfortable with that, and then, like the other young lady, Brittany, that we talked to earlier, write that thing down, journal on it. Create your personal affirmations that you say every day, putting yourself in that space of where it is that you want to go, wherever it is that you desire, and don't censor it, and don't judge it. Just write it, whatever the hell it is. If it's, you want to, get on a spaceship, or you want to be one of the first people to go to Mars, you know what I'm saying? So don't judge it, don't limit it, just put it down. And then begin to make sure that you create these affirmations around it, and you say them. I write mine on the mirror. I write things on the mirror, and that's, to me, that's a part of mirror work. I know you do the mirror where you stand and look in the mirror and talk to yourself. And that's another thing you can do as well. But for me, I write them on the mirror. I write things on index cards and tape them up around places. Just whatever I need to do in order to keep me in that place of where I know that I feel like this, and this is happening. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care. It's happening. So that's what I have for you.
Thank you so much. That's
You're so welcome.
perfect. Just so perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. Anyone else have something to share with Tammi? Great. See if someone does. We might have some of them getting ready, not quite ready. Yeah, I can share a little bit. Oh, wait, Joy's almost ready. Yeah. Wait, you're muted, so I can't tell where you.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'll, in a little bit, if you go ahead, Laureli, that.
Okay, sure. And I just want to jump in. I've got some questions in the chat. So I'm going to speak to a logistics thing and I'll come right back to your question.
Sure.
People are asking about the price structure. So we have supported, sustaining, and supporting. So we feel like a fair price to sustain us doing our work with all the admin and all the advertising and the supporting the practitioners in the process and all this. Sustaining is $24 to ask a question. And then if you can afford more and you're willing to help put into the pool to support others, then it's $28. And then if you need support, $20 is great. And then also if you happen to be Black, Indigenous, or any person of color, we recommend that you pay $12 and that the rest of us pay the higher prices as a step of making reparations, since we all have benefits as a result of not being a person of color. So this is, I'm speaking of myself as a white person. So those are the prices that we recommend. So 20 to 28, choose what you can afford. And you know, with the value that you rate, the balance of all that. And then if you're a BIPOC folk, then $12 is what we recommend. All right, so Tammi, hopefully that explains. All right, great. And people are asking like, what counts as a person of color? And I'll say too, so you choose. So you know if you have faced discrimination, if your parents have faced discrimination, if your generations have faced discrimination, and that impacts you coming all down the line. So it's totally up to you. You choose what feels like it's an integrity to you. You are the one that makes that decision, not me. All right, so Tammi, back to, that's right. I remember the feeling of little bits I know from before, and I don't remember all the content. So yeah, horses feel so aligned with your path. It seems like you're in, let me time myself. It seems like you're in the steps of groundingness, like you have some dreams. And there's like how to make it more grounded in some ways. So I think about whether you might be doing things called upper limiting. So an upper limit is where we have something get bigger than what we know how to integrate. So it could be dreaming of the future. It can be some success, or it can even be something as an appreciation that someone shares with us, right? That takes us above what we know how to be with, or to like to hold, to integrate. And so we get all and don't listen, and we often do something that brings us back down below, right, or limit. And so you seem like you're having a little bit of the kind of experience as you talk about it.
Yeah.
So there are ways to ground, right, to have it be a friendly process. So standing outside in the grass, right? Some people it's hot water bath, right? Eating healthy vegetables and things like that. Or for you, touching horses totally helps you ground. I'm imagining, right? So there are just all kinds of different things. And some people for exercise, and you want to do it though where you are, how do I say, when one is in this kind of state, we can accidentally hurt ourselves. Like there are all kinds of things we can do. So taking small steps to these integrating activities so that we can ground ourselves and get safer is important. One step that I recommend in general, and dreaming creates often a lot of fear. And so a step for getting out of the flee fear when we imagine into the future in a way that's problematic, where we get ourselves all is to do sumo. So you want to do this in a way that's totally friendly to your body. So crouch and ground like a sumo wrestler. And when you're imagining a future, you can actually take steps forward, imagining your future while you're grounded like this. If it does not feel good to do on your knees or any part of your hips or anything like that, just sitting and pushing your feet into the ground while you're imagining the future and what your steps might be. I'm a fan of something called a taxi job, and you might not need to get a job, but I think the general principle of taxi job is helpful. Taxi is something that gets you from where you are to where you want to go. So a taxi job is something similar. So what ended up working so well for me when I was going through big transition in my life I had a job that I had gradually reduced from 40 to 32 hours a week. And then the economy totally collapsed and poof, they made it 1 day a week. So 8 hours a week. And that was actually perfect because as I started my own business and I totally panicked in the middle of that first night, I had a first client, right? So I already had a client for 8 hours a week. And I started doing some coaching on my own. And then I ended up working with a colleague. It's okay, we're all squeaky. I know it's great. But I ended up working with a colleague. And so I was growing my own business. And I had this one client from my past employer. And then I started working in my colleague's business. So she was paying me by the hour for some work I was doing for her. And she was a coach. So I was learning to become a coach. And I was already doing intuitive work, but didn't know I was doing intuitive work. So I was taking steps to supporting myself in a bit here and supporting myself in a bit here. And I had some grounded things where I could take care of some practical stuff while I was expanding into the I have no idea what it is. So I just look for you. You are someone that seems generally much more fluid and much more in the feeling space than someone like me. And so you'll feel your way through in waves differently than I did. And it might be helpful to not change everything at once. And or you may be someone that throwing it up and like swirling it up and seeing how it lands, like really doing it in a way that feels good to you, that helps you stay more in your body in the process. And I'm talking way too long.
I am. No, I did. I quit my job 7 years ago. I haven't had a normal job for 7 years, or a typical income for 7 years. And yeah, it just had a message one day, and 2 days later I was jobless. So
yeah, so you're someone that has experience following your messages and that it works. And so doing what you can, doing what things to stay grounded enough here, right? It's not grounded enough that you're too heavy and you're tethered in a way that's a problem, and not having be too spacious and floaty, right, in a way that's not grounded in that delicate dance and balance.
The balance,
and it's right, and it's going to be different at different moments.
Right.
Like, what is that good balance for you? And so working with horses and working with animals and working with people, all that is totally seems in alignment. Yeah. So it might be animal communication in general, like as an option too. And I encourage you
I am an animal communicator. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. Yeah. And I was wondering, when you said that you've written to the person that you've taken classes from, how, or that you contacted them, how did you contact them?
Email. That's the only contact I have. Contact information that I have.
And they typically respond by email. That is a typical. Is that correct? They do typically respond that way?
I've not ever contacted her before. I've not.
Okay,
I've only had a class where, you sign up for the class and you get the recordings. So I've not spoken to her.
Okay, great.
I've
So it's possible that she's
her.
not looking at her emails.
Yeah.
So that's why, yeah. So I would explore other ways. I bet there are other ways. And I'm like an example of someone that's so good at finding all the other ways. And so, and also making it clear enough what your ask is, not like, I want this thing, but this is what I'm looking for. And is this possible? Or what are suggestions you have? So you're asking in an open-ended way too, that if what you particularly are looking for isn't available, they come back with some other thing to help you take steps towards that.
Right.
Great.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Yeah, I talked for way too long, everyone. I need the little rock. Who else wants to share? And so not everyone's sharing. So I'm like, yeah, who else? Joy, are you ready? Or
Yes, actually. Hi, Tammy.
Hi.
Hi. I drew some cards for you. And
Thank you.
Yes, they're amazing in that they dovetail quite a bit. So the first deck was lucidity, and all three cards are about dreaming. So the first one is dream guide, and the second one is lucid dream, and the third one is prophetic dream. So do you remember your dreams?
Some. I try to write them down. Like last night I had a pretty intense one, and I woke up and tried to write that down. Half of it, I got the first half, and then the second half I couldn't remember it, but so usually I remember about half.
Yes, well, this is saying kind of pay attention to your dreams. it's good to keep a journal and try to recognize, and especially with the prophetic and the lucid dreaming, where your dreams might inform your reality in terms of where you want to go. And also, some of the other cards were invention, burning with passion, tranquility, harmonious inaction. And that is in terms of what are you passionate about? What do you like yourself? Just
I'm trying to figure that out.
you don't have things that
Like what I desire and my passions and things, and
right.
gotten to a place of
Well, that's probably why they're suggesting you look at your dreams, because
right.
dreams often will have messages from your subconscious that you wouldn't necessarily be thinking about in your conscious mind.
Right.
And for the Mudras deck, the cards were spiritual union, harmonious life transitions, and the air mudra, which is serenity and reducing stress. So again, the harmonious life transitions, equanimity, centering, and maybe meditation. The dreaming, the lucid dreaming refers to like trying to call on your dream guides when you're maybe in a waking lucid dream state, which is kind of meditative. So if you meditate really deeply and go into a semi-dream state and then call on your dream guides, you probably be getting messages from them.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Sure.
I love your background, by the way. It's very colorful.
And just thinking about that in terms of your background, given that your energy is so soft and flowing, your background is much more angular. How do you surround yourself by energy that is soft and flowing?
Say that again. Oh,
Tammi.
are you talking about me?
Yeah. Just your energy is very soft and flowing, and the background that you have at the moment is very angular.
Oh,
And I was wondering, how do you
yeah,
support yourself with soft and flowing?
I'm working on that. We just moved to a new place just a few months ago. So these are actually the only pictures that I have up. So I'm working on that, but like I said, I'm in that transition stage. So I'm not planning on staying very long. So I haven't been supporting myself in that way. So thank you.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Yeah.
I just think about that in general, like how you support yourself with what's supportive, how you surround yourself with what's supportive. Right. And Leanne's got something to share.
Thanks.
Hi, Tammi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm, excuse me, when you first started talking, my left shoulder started aching. And for me, whenever my left shoulder starts aching, it's world stuff, it's work stuff, it's something's not quite the thing with what I'm doing. And to piggyback a little bit on what Audrey said, I am all for the leap. I'm all for the grab. I'm all for the out and get. And I'm actually going to recommend a pause. As I was feeling into it, I was thinking, how will I know? How will I know? And my spiritual womb just kind of said, they're the kind of person who knows, who just knows. So this questioning that you're doing, there's something else behind it, and there's something more that's gestating. There's something more that's going, okay, but yes, this is the thing. And there's one more thing that they need to know or discover or unleash before the next step. So if you can, I know it's hard. I know it's hard because I'm one of those yes and now and please and absolutely. If you can pause until you naturally feel like you want to take a step.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
When you first started, talking, when you first came on and first started talking, not now, but at the very beginning, when you were explaining yourself, I just was so connected to your energy. A lot of the other practitioners too, but there was just something about you that was just very connected. I just felt very connected. So thank you.
The horses.
What's that?
Well, it's the horses. I love them as well.
Oh, got it.
Yes. I've never worked with wild horses myself, but if you allow them to teach you, like I've been doing energy work for years, and just recently I have a wonderful opportunity to work with horses, and they were teaching me how to do energy work, and I'm like, I'm humble now. I'm very
Right.
humbled by this. So
They know so much. They're so cool, so good. What were you going to say? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, I just hooray and congratulations, and I hope that becomes a wonderful, beautiful heart connection for you as you move forward with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Leanne. All right. Does anyone have anything else for Tammi? Great. Thank you so much, Tammi.
I really appreciate everything. Thank you so much. Thanks
You're
to
very
all of you.
welcome. We have an animal panel coming up too, if you want to be on the panel.
Oh,
Things
cool.
to consider.
Can you mute me? Because I can't find my mute button.
Oh yeah, I can mute you. Yeah, I'll find it. You should be
Okay.
able to just tap your screen and it'll show up. Yeah.
Yeah, it usually is.
I muted you. I hope that's okay. Mid-sentence. All right. Zoom has updated and some things are different. All right. Well, let's see. We have a third person that's asking. Let me third person. I don't know if the payment has come in yet, but I will trust we will get that sorted. If I might not be able to see it at the moment. All right. So third person has a question. Let's see. So, and this is a completely anonymous question, so I'm just going to read it out. Make sure, yes, the person can hear. All right. So the person shares, I'm going through some kind of unique time or experience, and I have been having a lot of emotion come up, sadness, grief, exhaustion, etc. for a few months now, especially related to my work, though it goes deeper too when I take time off. I feel like it's a time of transition, but I can't quite see yet what's next. I'm wondering what the practitioners see regarding what is going on, what's needed, and what might be coming next, and or whatever is helpful for me to know. I had a little more time with this already, so I could go first, or if someone else feels ready, they can go. And Audrey, you're muted again if you're ready, but you may not be ready yet.
May I know who's asking?
They don't want to, it's completely
okay.
anonymous. Yeah,
Okay.
this is just our third person. Yes, I'll start and I'm timing me. So definitely, as you shared, it felt like it went to something deeper. And to me, the thing that first showed up when I was reading was a deep life, like a deep grieving of there's something called a walk-in, and I don't know that you're set up to be a walk-in, but what a walk-in is where the purpose that we're supposed to live in this life, something's gone wrong and we're not able to live it. An agreement that's often made is that, well, the agreement that's made for the person to be a walk-in, and it's often accompanied by a near-death experience. It does not have to be, and I don't recommend, right, wandering this path this way, is that so that the life still serves a purpose. This soul leaves and another soul comes in. And it typically takes 7 years to integrate this journey of the new soul, because we're in the same body. This new soul is in the same body, and there are memories, and it's confusing. So I don't know that that's what's here, but it's this sort of order of magnitude to me of grieving, of there's something that's so deeply like not been aligned about your whole life, and that there's some reason that it's emerging right now. I'm imagining you're someone that does feel very deeply. You can sense through things. You're good at sensing when someone else is not in alignment. And maybe you've put a lot of your focus in your life out with other people, and you're finally starting to feel that deep within you. Seems like there's something big in your life that's wanting change that you've not faced. It might be a relationship that you've been in, if you've been married, something like that. But you've been off kilter of what your big purpose is, and is this calling for you to face it? And I appreciate that you are taking time, that you are being with this. There are coaches that specifically work with grief and grieving. There are several in the community. Yeah, there are all kinds of different tools. One of them has you draw and like make art and just let that express whatever's coming through you. So there might be some things like that, some other ways of expressing that you don't typically do. Like I would recommend taking whatever your the non-dominant hand and scribble and draw. Be finger painting, playing in the mud. Yeah, it just feels like this really, really deep, deep ache that, easily might be generational and go back. There's something like that to me, that you're on a pathway of healing. And if there's anything in this life that's before you were speaking, it's pre-verbal. So you don't have words for processing it in this life. And so it could be something really old like that too. So being so loving of yourself and caring of yourself is so important on this journey. Yeah, so that's just a bit of what's here for me about context. And Viana is ready. I'll go ahead, Viana. Oh, yeah, Viana first.
Well, I immediately picked up on that you're struggling with your identity. And what came up was, do you know about morning pages, Julia Cameron? One of the things that really helped me was to do what is called morning pages, where as soon as you wake up, you have a tablet and a pen right by your bed. As soon as you open your eyes, you just immediately write down the first thing that's coming into your mind, the first feelings, everything. Just write it down. Don't worry about paragraphs or punctuation or anything. Just write, just stream writing. It does help to get in touch with what's going on. So I just suggest that you might try that.
All right, great. Thank you. Yeah, and if you have more afterwards, feel free to share more. Audrey's next.
Oh, thank you. So, naturally, I try to feel your energy because that's how I can sort of get into your world, try to understand things. And so I'm also being told by my spirit guide, there's a lady with me today. She says that you are trying to break free from the past relationship. Relationships can hold you down, and or that feeling of what's unfinished business is still holding you down again, whether it's emotional obligation or any kind of thing that says, okay, you better stay here, or it's better for you to be here. But your your soul intention is like almost splitting into a different direction to say, I'm ready to go to the future or the other things, the new things. The new things could be more fun, could be about some new jobs, some new adventures, some new excitement, more other people and stuff like that. So I think that is the so-called the dream building that we're talking about today, hoping to enrich your life, hoping to move forward. If you're not happy with what you have right now, then you want to go forward. So there's a card that I was given about the past or about what you're going through right now. It's called the insecurity from the chakra card. And this is the red border. Red border is all about the Kundalini energy. So the Kundalini, again, is the most, the lowest chakra, and so it is the lowest one that's supposedly grounded, or that when you do everything, when you feel good about your life, it should be good and grounded. But right now it says insecurity, right? The card says insecurity. So I think that whatever that you have, you're like a misplaced piece of puzzle in a different puzzle, right? That puzzle piece requires a circle, but you're like a triangle, and so you don't fit in there. And I think that's probably where the struggle comes in. But I think as long as your own soulful intention is ready to move on, you can give it a little bit more thoughts, a little bit more, exploration or projection. Give it intention that I want to move forward, and tell your partner or people, whoever that holds you back, to tell them that, hey, our directions don't mesh. I'm going my separate way, you're going your separate way, for our own best interest or own happiness. And then so that is a good way to depart or to try to find your better future. That is what I see for you today. So best of luck.
Thanks, Audrey.
Okay.
Does anyone else have anything to share with our third person? Oh, whoops. Audrey, let me get you back up here. Meant to put your hand down. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, who else has something to share with our third person?
I feel like it's a connection thing. As I was listening to the question, it felt like a connection thing, like you need to just take a minute and allow that connection piece, because also I feel like maybe your heart chakra and your crown are a little bit, and even your root. So I think it would be helpful if you did some of the grounding stuff like people were saying, or whatever works for you, because there's so many different ways to ground. You can hug a tree, you can stand outside with no shoes. I like to take a bath because I'm a couple of water signs. So I feel like that would probably help you more than anything. It's just really getting that connection piece and really connecting to Mother Earth and to your higher self and God's source universe.
Yeah, and the third person, if there's anything that you want to share in response, you can private chat me and I'll share that with the group. Totally optional. It's up to you if you want to do that. Yeah, and Viana, you have something to share with our third person? Go ahead.
Your guardian angel really wants to communicate with you and help you. Trust that your guardian angel is with you all the time. Never, ever, ever leaves you. And so spend time listening and just being aware of signs. I don't know whether you're a visual person or an auditory person or a kinesthetic person, but your guardian angel really wants to help you. I can feel so strongly. Maybe if you read Lorna Burns' Angels in My Hair, it might help you understand how to connect to your guardian angel if you have them.
Yeah, I know I've got the link to that somewhere up in the chat. I could probably find that again too. Yeah, it came right up.
Somebody's also reading it on YouTube too.
Oh, great.
I looked
Someone's reading on
it up on
Cool.
YouTube. Yeah, a couple of, I think I saw so far 2 chapters. I didn't look all through. I just looked just now.
Mhm, mhm. And that's a little tricky. I don't know if YouTube will let them continue because that's they need permission for copyright with that. So, but yeah, private groups doing that together. It's great. All right. Yeah. Anyone have anything else for our third person? Go ahead, Leanne.
I felt, excuse me, as you were reading the question, I just felt this need to scream, just this anger and this loss of breath. So if the respondent or the person had the question, you can, it feels icky. Anger can feel icky. And if you can attend to it, if you can let it out, if you can release it, if you can say to it, yes, I hear you, and allow it to be in a safe place, and let it go until you can breathe again. And once you can breathe again, once you get that physical body feeling of I can again, that's when you can make those discerning decisions. But if you can move into that place where you allow that anger and allow the release of it, and the listening to you part, and that's really important. So know that you're valid in those feelings and those needs, and to free them.
No, that's great. That aligns with my idea that there's some big change coming up or saying no to something. And also people that are raised in the US as women, girls, are often taught to cry instead of express anger. We're taught that it's a bad thing. And so it's true. Some of the feelings that are coming up could be masking the other feelings that are there, like anger. Yeah. Like for me, anger is yes and no. Yeah, it could be a big yes and no. And it can be a small, yeah, no. Viana has something. Go ahead.
One of the things that I do with my clients when they're having trouble expressing their anger is I teach them how to have a tantrum. And it's very simple. You just lay on your back in a soft place on your bed or someplace so you can't hurt yourself. And then you start kicking your feet and beating your fists and yelling, no, 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 and just getting your whole body involved in this experience. And then afterwards, then you bring your knees up and kick your sits bones and pound with your elbows and then yell, yes, yes, yes. And it's just amazing how you can just release whatever it is that's holding you back. And then you can get information about what you really are feeling. I do it all the time. And I'm in my 80s and I still have tantrums.
That's great. That's great. Yes, I totally teach people to have tantrums too, support them to have tantrums. One of the goals is like to make it bigger. One of my teachers used to talk about fighting fire with gasoline. So make bigger whatever's here, like stretch it out bigger than you imagine it might really be. And what I think this really does is it gives you permission to let flow whatever really is here. And letting them flow is how we find our flow again.
It's so easy to just get worked up inside.
Yeah.
I wish you the best.
And they shared that many of these things have resonated. Yeah. Just anything else for the third person as we're closing up?
Yes, actually, I drew more cards, and again, they're very salient. The first ones were immersion in the creative process, and loving doves, and hypnopompia. Hypnopompia is the state you're in when between waking and dreaming. And so it's a reference to transitions in your life. I think this is a period of major transition for you. So it's probably best not to resist it and not to fight it, but to try to see what the messages are. And like some of the people were saying, to check in with your guides. That was another one of the cards, spiritual commitment. So I don't know whether you're a spiritual person already, but to ask for guidance from your guides, whichever they may be. And loving doves is tranquility and grace and peaceful transition. Some of the other cards were enlightenment, moving forward, transformation, defining yourself, the challenge, witness consciousness, and connection to earth. So if you're, for example, if this is very stressful for you and it's too much at times, go into nature. That's always very grounding. And even go barefoot in the grass and in the dirt and touch things, touch trees, touch rocks, touch water. It's very grounding. And then try to collect your thoughts in witness consciousness, meaning look at your whole life in an overview and see what this transition is trying to tell you. What comes to you as strikes you as a message from it. And part of the card witness consciousness is releasing limiting beliefs so you can continue with clarity. So what limiting beliefs are being challenged here? What is so upsetting you in terms of limiting beliefs that are being challenged by this upset? So really look at things overall and try to get a sense of the big picture and what you think the messages might be, and with the guidance of your guides. But I think that you will ultimately gain enlightenment in moving forward, and also think about where you want to go, what you want your life to be like, what you want to be like, and try to incorporate that in this transition. So don't let it run away with you. You're completely in control, even though it may be upsetting at times. Try to ground as much as possible and realize that you can still go wherever you want and do whatever you want. You are still in total control.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for working with an anonymous question, and thanks so much for wanting to ask and letting us support you. All right. All right, and we do have another question that has come in. So yeah, we're ready for the fourth question. All right. You know who you are with the next question. Are you ready to come up on screen? you are willing to do that. All right, here we go. And Henry joins us to ask a question.
Oh, Henry, hi.
Now let's get you unmuted. You're still muted.
Yeah, I've been wanting, I planned to ask a question, but it just didn't crystallize until just about 3 minutes ago. So I'm going to see if I can, it's just, let me see if I can put it together. So, okay. So as some of you know, I've developed a tarot deck and a class and all of that. And I'm going to have the official launch on February 23rd, which is my partner's birthday, in honor of their wonderful contribution to the making of the deck and the making of the guidebook. So the guidebook will be launched at the same time. So anyway, so that means I have to do a lot of work. First of all, I'm still writing the guidebook, and also I want to promote it, so that when the launch happens, you know, it's going to mean something. And so I don't have enough time to do all the things to do. And this is usually, you know, where I'm like, where I stop. Okay, well, I don't have enough time. And so I'm just going to do what I can do. And I'm not going to do what I'm not going to be able to do. And it's just going to be perfect the way it is, and perfect the way it's not. But like, as I'm saying this, I have this pit in my stomach, and I've like this, oh, I wish I could do everything, as if I were like a marketing team of 4 or 5 people, you know, with a several $1,000 budget, maybe $5,000 budget. Like, that's what I want to be doing. So the question that I have, I think I've laid it out. The question I have is not how I'm going to do that, but maybe something along the lines of how to be with the fact that I'm not a 5-person team with a multi-$1,000 budget, how to be with that in a way that doesn't make things worse. Because I think that the way I'm being with it is just like, it just makes it harder on me. So I'm looking for, you know, whatever the advice is or whatever the impressions are. Joy, I've been particularly liking everything you've said this evening, so I hope that you chime in. And I'm not looking for divination or I mean, you know, if it comes through really powerfully, who am I to say, no, don't. But that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking more, I know everyone here is wise and is dealing with their own things. So I'm just looking for some like, how can I be with, I can't optimize, but it's still like another way of optimizing that I haven't thought of. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Oh my God, Laureli, you're laughing so great. Lay it on me.
well, just you're totally asking a question about perfectionism, and how can you not be perfect about this, and how can you not even be in the context of being perfect about how you're not perfect?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's impossible, you know. I mean, I know what could be possible, but I can't make that happen, or at least I feel like I can't make that happen.
What are you really, if the launch went so well, if it went just as it, how to say it, just if it went really well, what do you imagine could be? And if it didn't go well, what is the loss that you imagine you to be experiencing, or the world would experience? What is the desire and the fear?
Oh, okay, great question. So ideally it would be that we'd have a full class, which would be probably, you know, I'm not asking for much, like maybe 12 people. Between 12 people is probably good, because then we can really give everyone attention, but 12 or more, that would be great. And also, you know, if I had some pretty good sales, that like a nice jump start. I don't
Like how
really
many
know.
sold, like about how many? What's like a good, pretty good?
I don't really know. I think like if I sold like 20 decks, I think that would be a respectable showing, you know, 20 decks. And 12 people, maybe more people. It depends, I always like to be the best possible give personal attention to every single person. So, but
it's great. And some people in the audience are doing a great job helping with this. So, because I know so much, they're saying, what is it that you're wanting to do? So you have these cards, right? So you have these cards. And I have them right here. They sit on my desk all the time in their little package. So you have these cards, and it sounds like they're launching on February 23 is the big launch. They're already like the rough draft is out, and you're teaching a class associated with them of like how to read with them.
yes.
So you're talking about having like 12 or more, how many rounds of 12 people in a class, and that you sell like maybe about 20. And you mean like on the first day or the first like week that you're launching, or the class starts?
Yeah,
or...
I think like within the first few days, like maybe up to a week, yeah, or maybe over the course of the month, for the rest of the month, maybe that would make sense.
Yeah, and I'm reminded one thing. I know one of my practitioners needs to go. Tammi, are you still here? Is there anything you want to share? And then can you just reintroduce yourself before you go? I shouldn't have started talking. Tammi, are you here? Are you available for that? All right, well, I will reintroduce Tammi if Tammi doesn't have the opportunity to do that. But yeah, Tammi, if there's anything you want to jump in with before you. Tammi, just in case. All right, well, let's go. Let's go to Audrey, and then we'll see if Tammy's ready. I want Tammi to be able to jump in though. So go ahead, Audrey.
Okay, great. Thank you. So it's so good to see you. Okay, so what I was getting about your situation, I could feel totally what you're going through, the emotional ups and downs. I know you're not looking for any kind of interpretation, but just a quick card here. This is my chakra card. It says facade. The yellow border card. Yellow border card is the navel chakra. Facade is really usually about what's expected on the outside, what we think. It's like a perception. So the spirit guide tells me that your project already has a lot of, it's like a hub. It already has a lot of lines going into people, or what your introduction did so far has already done what it's meant to do. So of course you could be selling another 1,000 decks, or you could be doing such a, another big event at the Tarot Symposium or something. But that is, of course, cherry on the top. So what you have right now is, I don't want to minimize your worries, but they are saying that it's already great. By the regular tarot deck, it's the Justice card. And then so it says that it has already the necessary connections that you need, the mouthpiece, or people who can do advertising promotions for you, but probably not necessarily in the editing department. But whatever that you have with the initial deck is already great. So can I say that the spirit guide says that you please do not worry, but just to go with the flow, right? That's kind of what I have to offer you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. And in between questions, Henry, someone in the chat has signed up for your class.
Oh.
Take that in.
Okay, I'm gonna cry. Okay, I'm taking that in.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
great to feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Henry, my anticipation is that you're going to have many more than 12. You're going to have 12 sets of 12 over the next few months.
That would be just so wonderful. Because I just, oh my God, the more I'm like, this deck is revealing itself to me. You know how that is? Like I made it, maybe something made it through me.
Your intuition, everything came through you, and now you're getting more of a cognitive awareness of what's here.
Yeah, because as I'm writing the book, I'm like, I didn't see this part before. And it's like, it gives me goosebumps so hard right now. So,
Well, people have more to share. Viana has something to share, and
yes,
Leanne has
yes, I
something
want to hear,
share, and-
because I want to hear, because already something is shifting.
So be really kind to yourself and really get into the process. Just love the process. Just have fun with the process instead of the end gaming, because that's what's going to attract people, is that you are just loving the process of what you are creating. Be kind to
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, I've been pretty good with the being kind to myself, because this is something I teach, but the loving the process, because I'm getting the word out. The promoting is not a process I love. It's a process where I always feel behind, or like I don't know what I'm doing, or am I being effective? So loving that
Just
process.
trust it. Trust it. Trust your
Yeah.
way. Trust your way.
Okay, trust my way.
Yes, trust your way.
Trust my way. Okay. My way, even with promoting, I'm writing this down.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Okay, because I'm not against promoting, it's just getting the word out, but it's just I always feel like, yeah, I don't have to repeat it. Trust my way. Trust my way. That's really great. Thank you.
Right, and I'm going to insert just a little thing here before we go to Leanne. Do you know about MVP? MVP, minimal viable product. I think of it as minimal viable service also. It's a strategy that's used for innovation. You make the smallest, simplest version of something and get it out to get feedback. So for all the things that you're wanting to do on the big long list and all the ways that they could be built or done, what is the smallest number of things and the smallest, simplest ways you can do them to get it started? So for example, people in the chat are asking, how do they sign up for the class? And I'm poking around on your website, it might not be up yet. So put a really
it's not up yet.
So put a really simple version of it on the
Okay.
website so people can sign up. And the price might even be different than what you eventually go to. If you go to a lower price, refund them some money. If you raise the price, they got in early and they get the benefit of that. You don't have to figure it all out first. MV, minimal viable product or service.
Product. Wow. Wow, that is really, I love that.
That's how I innovate and do my things all the time. That's six little tables and chairs around my living room for a fair.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. Great.
Leanne is next.
Hi.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm absolutely going to be the person who says the thing that you didn't want to hear. As soon as you started saying, I don't have 5 people, I can't be at least 5 people, the universe was like, I'm 5 people, I'm 1 billion people, I'm 100 million, 1,000 people. If you would allow us to support you, if you just let go and allow your guides who are, or the cards even that you're writing, to assist you in getting the word out and being your creative marketing team, they're glad to support you in this. And also, I'm just happen to currently be staying in an intentional community. And when it started, they needed to, they weren't sure which steps to take and how to do this or do that. And they would pull an oracle card to say, is this the right step? They would pull an oracle card to say, is this the right step? I'm going to say to you, this person who has this oracle card deck, are you using your cards to help you make your decisions? Are you using your cards to get that information for you?
Yeah, I'm using my cards, but not directly for this. I'm always, whenever I start anything, like any task, I just pull a card, see what is this going to tell me, but not specifically with regard to the promoting. I haven't done that at all because there's a disconnect. Like the promoting is another world, you know, and I know it's not, but that's how I treat it.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to
Another
bring this
part of the book.
question.
Or-
Okay,
It's different.
I'll do that. Pull a card as counsel. Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
I think not doing it alone, right? Doing this in community. Like you can write a message in the MeWe practitioners and vendors chat and say, hey, I'm doing this. Can we just get together and talk about it? I scheduled a time now. Who can come? Right? You know, people who run Facebook ads all the time, like me, and there's tons of people.
Yeah. Wow. I will do that.
People have podcasts they need to interview people on. And
Wow. Yeah. Wow. There's so much, because it just would be so great if all this came out. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
be
And
honest,
I
that more.
suggest stop saying you can't do it or you don't know how to do it, and just say, I know how to do it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Even though it doesn't feel completely true at the moment, but that's the intention. That's the way things happen. You block yourself when you keep saying, oh, I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. Just say,
Yeah. I keep saying I don't have enough time.
I'm
and
doing
resource.
it. I have all the time in the world. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay. I
act
have
of,
all.
this act of asking this question here is part of the doing of it. You are doing it in present moment.
Yeah. I feel that way. It's very unusual for me. I'm so comfortable being the one who's helping. Oh, that's so great. And then when I have practitioners that are clients, and I tell them, you too can ask questions. Oh gosh. Of course. Oh,
I don't want to reinforce this for me either, but my general experience is that it's the hardest thing to give our gift to ourselves.
oh, okay. I'm gonna write this down because I gotta remember that, or I want to remember that it's the hardest. Yeah. Yeah. It's so easy to give it to others. So you all have the same problems then?
Yeah, a lot of us do. Yeah. We're all like, yeah.
Mm.
Some have different lessons, some have healed it, but yeah, for a lot of us, it's,
Wow. This is very cool.
if we grew
Hey,
up
can
giving
I
to other
capture
people
the
too.
chat? Because
You
there's some
can, yeah, and there are other
positive
people that want to
things.
share things and they didn't know if you were looking at the chat, so they want to share appreciation of you. So you have fans in the
Oh.
chat. It's a small chat and you still have lots of
Oh.
fans.
That's so beautiful. Thank you all. Blessings, blessings, blessings.
And if you've updated Zoom, they've changed where the save chat is. The 3 little dots are now at the bottom of where you right
Oh,
now.
yeah. I
And
just
Joy's
saw
got something. You're not getting out of here that fast, Henry. There's more.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Mary.
Oh, Henry, it's so nice to see you. Congratulations on your deck. I actually
Thank
have
you.
it here and I drew some cards actually from a number of decks, including yours. And there's some actually recurring themes, which is and not surprising. One of them from the other decks is the university and creative play. So look at this as a learning experience and as a fun experience. So whatever you're doing, make it fun. Try to tell yourself that you're going to do this in a way that's enjoyable and pleasurable to you, no matter what it is. and Lorelei had a great idea. Just get together with people and brainstorm on marketing, on whatever it is that you feel kind of stuck on. And the other cards were culmination, completion, and renewal. So realize that this is the completion of your project in terms of it's evolving into a renewal point. And so it's not completely finished, but it's at a transition point. and then also believing in yourself and challenge. This is a challenge. It's not something you can't do. It's something that you're given the opportunity to do.
Oh, okay.
And also unshakable trust and enthusiasm, which like have an unshakable trust in yourself. So like everyone was saying, don't say that you can't do it. Look at this as something you have an opportunity to try everything you want to try, anything you can think of, anything is suggested to you. And one pointed concentration, which is like focus, so that, everything maybe that you perceive, if you're always thinking about one thing, that you can get ideas just from your environment, because you apply different things to what you're thinking about, if that makes sense.
No, say that maybe another way.
Well, if you're focused on one thing, and then you are going through your day and you are doing different things, you'll find that sometimes things that you're doing will trigger ideas for
So kind of put it in the background and let it percolate.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And then your cards, polyrhythmic universe. Okay, this is your universe.
Wow.
and you're gonna love these. And play was another one. This is, looking at this is fun and not difficult, not as something stressful. And then earth grounding. There's your card.
Oh, yeah.
So don't forget to ground, and don't forget to do, go into nature when you're stressed, which I know you are. So
Yeah.
I know that helps you.
Yeah, that number 16, that's quite a revelation, because then I know what there's to do is just keep riding it, however the rhythms are going. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a brilliant point in your universe, Henry. It's really wonderful to see you get here, because I know what kind of work you put into it. It's just wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, this is very cool. I've never had anybody read my cards to me.
Of course, you got all the right ones.
Yeah, that's really great. I really love them. Yeah. Stay grounded, be playful, let it be play, like being at play. And then rather than going, this thing is like bumping me and not working, but this is working, just flow with it like a surfer. Yeah.
The other thing is, if you get stuck on something and it's bugging you, go do something else. And you'll find that when you come back to it, it's a lot easier, and then other ideas may come up.
Yeah. That's I need to hear that, because I work like late into the night for like huge chunks of time.
And the other thing is, if you have a list and you're not going to get them done, I know you probably already do this, but just pick the things that you most want done, and then focus only on those, because if you're not going to get through it, don't just go boom, boom, boom. Yeah, pick them, cherry pick them.
I do that. I actually do that. That's the only way I can get it done, is by picking the stuff. This is really, really helpful. This is like really amazing. Thank you, Joy. Thank you.
Yeah, Joy, beautiful. I know Tammi just jumped back in. Tammi, I don't know if you got enough of this. If you had anything you wanted to share. Henry
do.
Yeah, great. Okay.
I do. I actually pulled a card for you. And the card that came was adjacent possibilities. So this is it. Let me see if I can. That's it.
I can't see that. What does it say? Adjacent possibilities?
Adjacent possibilities. Yes.
Interesting.
Adjacent possibilities. Can you see it now?
There's not a lot of light on it.
Yes.
It's a little hard to see. What is on the card?
I know. I'm trying to. Okay. So it's just it's like a big hallway with different doors. So I'm going to
Okay.
read to you what it says. Sometimes the force of habit keeps you stuck and unaware of potentially healthier and happier choices at hand. Yet every moment gives you the options to open a different door and take a different course, whether it's in your thoughts, behaviors, or major life decisions. Unlike the indecision card, which indicates confusion and vacillation about which course to take, the adjacent possibilities card is here to tell you that you have many options and it's time to take a wider look at things. As you consider
Okay.
the many life choices available, you'll feel more and more empowered and motivated to make decisions that bring happiness, strength, and forward motion. In terms of your goals, this card could indicate unknown and previously unconsidered ideas. Perhaps there's a marketing tool you haven't thought of, a connection you haven't tapped, or even an entirely different direction that would be more suited to you. Be conscious, be aware, and be flexible and willing to take new and different action now.
That's so freaking hilarious. Like it even mentions marketing. It actually says marketing on there.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
When I read it, I was like, that's her. I gotta give it to her.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you email me what it says on that card?
I can.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
henry@henryhello.com.
Hold on.
I can put it in the chat if you
Yeah, Henry.
want. Okay, I'll put
Yeah,
it-
So-
I'll
yeah.
put it
Put
So
in the chat
Henry,
somewhere.
one of those side
Yeah.
doors is, can I buy wholesale and sell at the fairs?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Ah,
Yeah. Great idea.
yeah, that's really amazing because I can't go to the fairs because of the COVID. Wow, yeah. Let's talk about that and make it happen.
So yeah, that's
Wow.
Tammy's side door.
Yeah, that's a
Like one
side
of them.
door. That's a great side door. Of course, I'm going like, oh, I wish I could be there. But I just, I can't afford to get COVID. I mean, I think I got COVID earlier, but not.
You could always do a
COVID.
virtual talk. We could play with that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that. A virtual talk.
At the in-person fair. I'm saying you even,
Yeah. Oh, my. Interesting. Oh, this is like really creative right now. Oh, cool.
And Tammy, you might have more. I didn't want to cut you off. Tammy, you might have more to share.
Yeah, Tammy. You were done, right?
I was done. I just thought it was so perfect. I was like, that is
Yeah.
exactly it. I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
It's like more doors opening for you,
Yeah.
but you just have to, I feel like you have to get in a space where you can receive, because it almost feels like you're all over the place. And so you have to get in this place where, you're grounded. So
Yeah.
you can explore your dreams, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and
that's
Henry,
really
other people are wanting to send you feedback. So your email is in the chat, just so that if anyone wants to
Yeah.
share with you or ask questions, they can do
yeah.
that.
Please do. That's fantastic. Yeah, I really love that. This is like what everybody has said is actually really what I was hoping for, because I knew that I already know what I know. So I wanted to know something I don't know. I just wanted to break it open, or for it to break open. And I'm really, liking what you're saying there, Tammy, the getting into a space where I can receive, because the space, misspell that, because the space I've been in, like I said at the beginning, is that like the scarcity of time and resource. And I don't even want to repeat that. So forget that. It's like I'm putting myself in a space where I can receive.
Yeah, what's here for me?
That.
What's here for me is that
Go
this is
ahead.
a birth. And I think about your birth and your childhood and what it was like when you were a child. And I'm wondering that the patterns are so much like it was for you as a child, and that you've gone back towards that pattern. Like where you have to hold it all yourself and take care of it all yourself and things like that.
I mean, that's kind of interesting. It might be, I can see something in that maybe not at my birth. I really don't know anything about my birth, but from being a small child I kind of was my mom's confidant and advisor from a really small child, like really small.
Right? You held way too much. You were the parent more than the child.
Yeah, I really held her loneliness and her lack of peers who were mystics like herself, you know.
And then you
Yeah.
did that all yourself and held it all yourself. Like you're the only one to do all those things. And I think that's sort of the pattern that's come up in your fear and right, this big thing. And like this is so your soul and your heart that you're releasing out to the world.
It really is. You're so right. It really, really, truly is. Much more so than I ever would have hoped. Like when I started the cards, I did not have the ambition for it. I just wanted to make cards that were diverse and that, you know, yeah, they were genuinely diverse. And then it became so much bigger than that. So
Yeah.
that's something I'm really grateful for and just amazed by. I love my cards. I mean, they're on my desk at all times. I just love them. Like I kiss them.
And for those of you that are here and considering coming to the Learning Circle on Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, Henry is one of the facilitators at that event. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be really awesome. Really looking forward to it because there's a part about the deck that is. Well, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to.
Well, you get glimpses into the deck if you come to the Learning Circle.
Yeah. There's some things about it that are unique to it that I'm looking forward to sharing. Yeah.
Great. Well, does anyone have any other feedback for Henry before we finish up today? And Henry, I saw you come today and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like I was done with my client and I'm like, well, I can still join, you know, it's already started, but I don't know, I just felt really called to do that. Like I really need to be doing that. And I can see now why.
Great.
This was really very precious and very special to me and very, very extremely helpful what everyone has said. And I really am very grateful to you all. Thank you.
Yeah, so Henry, I personally challenge you to get at least a simple version of signing up for your class, paying for your class on the website so that you can announce that on Saturday during the Learning Circle.
Okay. I will, I promise to do that.
And then have a plan of when the next class is coming, a loose plan in the background, so that if you sell out all 12 seats on the first one quickly, you can get another one going.
Okay, schedule, tentative schedule, second class. Okay, great.
That's another day of the week, or that starts a few weeks later, whatever that is.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah. Do you have any hits on what the class, how long the class should be? I've been thinking of just doing like a 3-hour workshop.
It should be longer. I do some like basic intro of the cards and how to use the cards and have people practice with each other and then have them go and digest and then come back and they're gonna have questions and so it's gotta be at least 2 parts.
So at least 2 classes. Okay,
Yeah.
well, okay, that's
probably more
great.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been if I were being willing, I feel like 4 classes would be perfect.
Yeah. Feels like more than 2. And by the way, Lisa, anyway, someone else in our community is great at planning all this stuff out, and she has a strategy for doing some rough versions first, and then she records after she learns from doing it a few times, and all kinds of tricks for how to make products. Product to make your class. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, great. Oh, Joy's got something else. Go ahead, Joy.
I just was going to say, Henry, you know Lisa Stewart?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. She's really the big business metaphysical person. So she has a lot of ideas about marketing and creative ways to do that.
And we just scheduled another drop-in. I know you may need it sooner, but we just scheduled another drop-in for business coaching. She and I are doing it together.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'll let you know about that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow,
right.
so much like it's almost like coming at me, you know.
Yeah. So you discern so where do you feel the
So,
dance and play and joy and all these possible steps? All
well, let
right.
me tell you, this is way better than just everybody going, well, we don't know. We don't know what to tell you.
It's great. Yeah.
More
And
is better than
someone else here is appreciating Lisa's podcast. Yeah. So all kinds of stuff. So
oh
this is a
yeah, I would
community.
love that.
You know, Henry is one of our practitioners. You all can tell. So this is a community. The people that come and enjoy a lot of the different practitioners and all support each other. Right? This is great.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah, I
Henry,
can
I'm going to do it. I'm going to move you back to the other side. Thank you so much.
thank you.
All right. Well, I put some information in the chat about upcoming events. I'm going to put it back in. And so there is the Learning Circle on Saturday at 4 p.m. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m., we have the Anything and Everything training panel. We need more practitioners on that panel. So if you haven't been in one of our events before and you want to get practice being on one of our panels, it's a little teeny bit more for you to be on the panel. However, we give you a bunch of support before and after, and it's half price to ask a question. So if you want to support the new practitioners, come from 5 to 7 on Sunday and ask questions. We do need more practitioners on the panel too. And then Monday, we have our online fair. So from 5 to 9 p.m., we have currently 12. I think we're going to have more practitioners doing an intuitive panel that is free. The fair is now free. And then they'll be offering all kinds of talks, group readings and healings in their breakout rooms. On the 8th, how to tell if you're dating a narcissist. And we've got more coming. And we're in person in Eugene, February 11, 12, and in Bellevue, February 18, 19. I'll put that in the chat again too, and all the practitioners' info is in the chat, and I'll put it there again too. And practitioners, let's close out. So let's go let's see. So Tammi, I know if you were needing to take off sooner, we're all like, but go ahead, Tammi, do you want to close out first? And then Audrey, go ahead and share who you are, what you do, how people can find you on the web. You're welcome to share your special again. Yeah, I know it's your first time, so go ahead and tell everyone
awesome.
that watches this video later who you are and how to reach out to you.
All right, awesome. I'm Tammi Morrison, and I am an energy healer. I'm a spiritual mentor, teacher, and an intuitive healer. And so I can be found on Facebook, on my page. My name's Tammi Morrison. I can be found on TikTok, Tammi Morrison. I can be found on YouTube, Tammi Morrison. And I also have a podcast where I interview people that are changing the planet. So if anybody wants to come on there, just reach out, let me know. Let's see, I'm trying to think. I do have a special that I am doing that is 50% off my sessions. I also have a 4-week program that I've started, Journey to Radical Acceptance. And it's 4 one-to-one sessions. It's not a group program, anything like that, but it's 4 one-to-one sessions with me. And it's just amazing. So if you like that, if you're interested in that, just reach out to me on any of those places that I am.
That's great.
And thank you for having me.
It's great having you. It's Tammi with an I. And if you're here live in this panel, that's how you can get the 50% off. And the code is in the chat. You have to be able to see the chat to get this 50% off.
Yes.
Thank you, Tammi.
Yes.
All right, Audrey.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. So I'm Audrey Lee. I can be found at audreyleemetaphysics.com. On there, you can connect with me. I have a lot of meetup groups, every Monday. I teach a lot of classes, astrology, numerology, just all kinds of different things, feng shui, whatever. And every other Friday too. And I would love to connect with everybody. I do counseling. I speak at different events, again, teaching different topics. I love it. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this evening. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And then Leanne, ready to go next?
I too want to thank everyone who showed up. My name is Leanne Quaintance. I do energy activations to help you unleash your own inner light, to help you step on your path of your spiritual transcendence. I also help people and teach people commune with trees and the energy of the earth. The very first time I had the opportunity to hear the wisdom from trees, actually use words, I was overwhelmed and overjoyed, and it brought me to tears. So anytime I can help someone else learn to take in their wisdom, take in their love, take in their light. It's my joy. So thank you for coming tonight.
Thanks, Leanne. And you're at onewhole1.love.
Yes, onewhole1.love. Thank you. And I am Leanne Quaintance on Facebook and Instagram.
Great. And I want to say that's onewhole1 is an O-N-E, whole, O-N-E.love. Great.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you, Laureli. My name is Joy J. Lee. I'm an energy healer and sensitive. I'm certified in Hand Mudras, which are an energy healing modality similar to Reiki. Mudra healing can be done remotely, can be used to address all manner of physical, mental, or energetic issues. And I also work with phototherapy and stem cell patches, which are a wonderful, groundbreaking healing modality that operate on the principles of phototherapy, and they address similar issues to the mudras. I also work with oracle cards and do intuitive readings with those. I have a few event specials, 30 minutes for $25, 50 minutes for $40, first 30-minute consultation free. And you can reach me through my website, diamondfirephoenix.com, standard spelling. And tonight was really wonderful. It was really great to be here with all the practitioners and to see everyone, and really, really just wonderful experience. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Joy. And Viana.
I'm Viana Fox, and I teach people how to be their healthy, authentic self through movement intelligence and fundamental consciousness, full body meditation. Also help people connect to their subtle being friends, their guardian angel, and all of the wonderful subtle beings that are around them. I've been a mind-body therapist for 46 years, and I'm at this time working one-on-one, either online or in person. And I've been going to the metaphysical wellness fairs in the Seattle area, Tukwila, Bellevue area. So this is all very new for me because I've always just had a client coming to me all these years. So I started doing this in the fall. So I'm still stumbling, but I'm having so much fun meeting all of you. And I hope to see you again and help you in any way that I can. Thank you so much. My website is Viana-motion.com. You can contact me through there. Thank you.
That's great. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader, body psychology coach, and matchmaker. Read your eyes, read your soul, and answer questions about your path. If you want to connect with me for matchmaking, I'd love to see your eyes, the eyes of the people that helped raise you, be they parents, nanny, older sibling, etc., grandparents. And I'd love to see eyes of your exes. I can help you recognize what the patterns are that have shown up in your life. Typically, we date people that are like our parents, and we choose the same kinds of eyes over and over again. And usually the partners we've chosen are very different than us. They are not our soulmates. I can help people find their soulmates. I think of soulmates as having similar souls and similar eyes, and I can help you find them with conscious online dating. Got lots of drop-in events where you can connect with me and learn more about my process and get some feedback. The first one's by donation, and then after that, it's $20 or $16 for BIPOC folks as a step of making reparations. I'm putting information about me in the chat, and before I do that, there's information in the chat right now too, and I put it in a few times. If you are willing to share your email address with us, you will share it with all of us on the panel along with your feedback, and we'll enter you into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. We'd love to hear from you. Find out what worked really well and what we could do better, and any ideas you have, and we'd love to include you in the drawing. Well, thank you everyone so much for being here today, for being part of the space, holding space for all the questions and answers, practitioners for participating, those of you that asked questions to support us to continue to have all these events. It was lovely to do this together. And if you've made it all the way to the recording, if you don't already know, MeWeFairs.com, MEWEFAIRS.com is how you can find out about all of our events in person in the Pacific Northwest, maybe to go to California soon, and also online. And you can find out about all of our events at joinmeweonline.com. Thank you so much, everyone.